Back-to-back SEC champions, the Georgia Bulldogs beat Alabama 28-7 in a dominant performance in the SEC championship. The fewest amount of rushing yards that Alabama has had in a game ever. That's what Georgia just did to Alabama. Injuries, whatever for Bama. Ty Simpson's not as accurate. Georgia's defense played the game that it really had not played all season long. It showed that if they can perform at that level, this team is capable of winning a national championship. Gunnar Stockton, your MVP of the SEC championship, 20 of 26 for 156 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, and it was 13 carries for 39 yards. Some very tough running for Gunnar Stockton there. This is the Postgame Overreaction show from UGAsports.com. I am Dayne Young, fresh off of our UGA Sports Watch-Along show with Jim Donnan, where we chronicled the game from beginning to end, just as we have for every Georgia game since 2019. And this team, you start to sense the special parts of it. And I will tell y'all that someone that I trust around this program told me that the second half against Auburn at Jordan-Hare Stadium is when this team really came together. Now, yeah, there are elements that happened in the summer and back in the spring and back in recruiting 2 years ago with some of these guys, but where this particular team, the guys on wearing red and black for Georgia, where they came together second half at Auburn. And since then, you've seen a team that is explosive, a team that now the defense looks like it can be feared, especially the front seven now getting some pressure on Ty Simpson in this game. Southeastern Conference champions for the second year in a row. I will get to a lot of your comments. We will get to some folks here to share their voices because this doesn't just need to be me talking. This is a show for the fans. We already have South Georgia Dog down in the background. I'll bring up in just a moment as we want to kick off and talk about what you all want to talk about. And it may be recruiting as I'm right, says, hey, Jared Curtis, let him know what happened to this game. Look, I'm sure that that's there too. Maybe you want to talk about college football playoff and what this means for Alabama. What's up? The Real Too Smart. Thanks for joining in. Maybe you want to talk about where this leaves Georgia in the college football playoff. Most assuredly, it would be at either 2 or 3 and get a first round bye. And I would assume Georgia will end up in either the Sugar Bowl or the Orange Bowl for that first round, second round playoff game for the Dogs being in the quarterfinal. We'll see how all that bracket comes together. A couple things that still have to happen for that, including some games tonight. Ohio State plays Indiana here in just a little bit. I think that game kicks off at 8 o'clock. Also, the ACC Championship, which is 7-5 Duke against Virginia. And I think we'll get to all of it, but I think we're in a spot that it's either Virginia or James Madison that will be in the college football playoff. Tulane is already in there. And you're probably looking at a situation where the committee is mostly discussing 3 teams for 2 spots. Those 3 teams would be Alabama. And if this performance has effects that would be punitive and potentially even leaving them out of the playoff, I don't think that should happen. But then the other 2 spots would be Notre Dame and Miami. And they're kind of caught in the quagmire of they've been ranking Notre Dame higher and Miami beat them. So that's kind of where we're at, where the table is set at this point. Don't think Vanderbilt's going to make the playoff. Really don't see how that could happen. All right, we have South Georgia Dog in here, and I want to get South Georgia Dog up here to chat about this. 28-7, South GA Dog. Tell me we're in South Georgia, because I'm on that fringe of like where Middle Georgia meets South Georgia, but I spent a ton of time down in South Georgia.
I got you. Yeah, well, at the moment, the reason it's so dark, I'm in the car on the way back home to America. I watched the ball game in Weston at my brother-in-law's house. Shouts out to my nephew, JW. He was going crazy during the game. So was I. Dayne, how about them damn Georgia Bulldogs, brother? Back-to-back SEC champions. Now, from Kalen DeBoer all the way down to their most obnoxious fan they got, we don't have to listen to them run their fat mouths about roll tide, nothing, this, that. They can listen. They can call Paul Feinbaum and do their Jim Crockett Promotions wrestling promos, yelling at him about how he cheated and how the refs were out to get them and all of this and how whatever they're going to say, because you know how they are. How about them Georgia Bulldogs? How about Gunnar Stockton? How about C.J. Allen? All them boys, man. I'm so proud of them. What a game. How sweet it is. It's great to be a Georgia Bulldog.
Y'all are going to be partying in America. I spent a ton of time down that way because I work in TV stations down in Albany and then over in Columbus, and America's right smack dab in the middle. A lot of great, you got Leonard Pope down from that area, like a lot of good Georgia folks from America. So I'm excited for the celebration that y'all get to have. I'll bring you in on, so Radi Nabulsi just left here. He'll join the show here in a bit. He was telling me that this team, the connection that they have, because this is an era of college football where that can be lost, especially with all these transfer guys that come in, that this team likes each other. They play together. They want to fight for each other. But you start looking at the leaders, the ones that you just mentioned, Drew Bobo not playing in this game, Lawson Lucky fighting his butt off out there. Kirby Smart turns around on that podium at the end and he said, "Who wants to go practice tonight?" And you heard Dayne Everett say, "I'll do it." Yeah. I think that's kind of what you're getting at there with this team, and maybe why, you and your nephew are celebrating so much tonight.
Absolutely, man. This team is they. I don't know when I realized it. It's y'all talked about the Auburn game. At some point in the season, I was like, I don't know how far we'll go, because we have had. Let's be honest, we have had more talented teams, but I was like, I don't know how far we'll go, but they've got that thing that the really, really good teams have, whatever that is. People talk about having it or whatever. Whatever that is, this team has it. And I think as much as anything else, man, and I'm not putting anybody down from the past, it's leadership. I feel like that was something we didn't have last year, at least not like we had in a few years past. And Gunnar, man, as Gunnar goes, so goes this team. And I don't want to throw a bunch of cliches out of straw that stirs the drink and all that, but really and truly, that guy is he's different. People say that a lot and it gets overused sometimes, but it's the truth. And just his toughness and all the rest of it, and a defense there's been times that you just make you want to scream this year, but when it has really counted here lately, they look like a different defense.
Yeah.
And it said at the end of the game, I think I saw the graphic up there that we had 3 sacks. It felt like about 6. I don't know how many times we actually got to him, but you could see it. He was throwing behind people. He was wanting to get rid of that ball. He was seeing ghosts after a while, and it's been really cool to watch that defense come together. Whatever did it, thank God. And they're rounded into form right at the right time.
Well, and to the point you made about Gunnar Stockton, when we look at the context of this being back-to-back SEC championships, Georgia was losing when Carson Beck was playing in that SEC championship last year. Maybe they would have come back had he not been injured. We'll never know. But what we do know is that team rallied around Gunnar Stockton, then found a way to win against a Texas team that was really good, had multiple first-round picks, had a very experienced quarterback, and Steve Sarkisian, who's one of the best offensive minds in the game. Then you go to this season, and now you have Gunnar Stockton, who's in control the whole 20 of 26. Did he throw the ball all around the yard? No, but he didn't have to. What he did do was put his body on the line and take multiple hard hits in this game after a physical game last week when Georgia Tech had roughed him up. And I think that's what has teams playing for him, and seeing what Georgia did against Texas in that game last year and then come back and avenge the loss to Alabama this year. Because look, Kalen DeBoer, Ryan Grubb, they're also some of the best offensive minds in football. Ty Simpson's had a really good year, and he looked, in part, I think Jam Miller being injured was something that helped Georgia out a lot in this game. But That's why you need to have deep rosters. Georgia lost its starting center, and it was fine. And that's hard to do. That is really hard to do.
No doubt. That got lost in the shuffle of talking about that was the fact that Drew Bobo not being there. And I'm not going to say it didn't matter, but man, Tolliver, he acquitted himself well. He really did. He played well. And I would be hard pressed to say what I would think there's so many big plays, and it seemed like when we really, really had to have something, somebody would make a play. Probably, I'm guessing the block punt will be what everybody calls the play of the game, and it very well might have been. To me, though, the Zachariah Branch that last was it Branch on that last drive that made a big
touchdown,
catch?
yeah. So they bring the house on Gunner. They think it's going to be a run, QB run up the middle, and he quickly throws it out to Branch, who stretches it out for a touchdown.
Right, yeah. That may be the play of the game. I don't know. Who cares? I mean, we SEC champions, and we it's Alabama. Maybe we got that monkey off our back now.
I mean, you could argue that one of Brett Thorson's punts was the play of the game, just the way that guy was flipping the field on so many plays. Georgia's kicking game was tremendous, and you didn't even really need field goals, which I had thought Georgia had an edge with field goal kicker in this game against Alabama. Connor Talty, good kicker, but what Georgia has with Woodring is so much better. And then, here's a good comment. CJ Allen, just quick surgery, come back, tough as nails. What a beast that guy is.
Yeah, C.J. Allen, Gabe Harris became the guy to me in these last 4 or 5 games. He became the guy that I was thinking, we all thought maybe he could be. And I mean, they were just him, and they were just putting a beating on Simpson tonight. We hadn't seen the defense do that in a long time. It was a lot. It was really, really nice to see.
I mean, Alabama had -3 rushing yards, and even if you do sack adjusted, it was 20. Through 3 quarters, they had fewer than 100 yards in this game.
That's crazy.
And that's an offense with talent. And, we've seen what Ryan Williams can do. He did it against Georgia last year. We've seen what they did early this year with Jeremy Bernard. Georgia shut them down. And Ty Simpson helped a little bit. He wasn't as accurate, and that happens. But that requires a good team to make you be inaccurate.
Yeah. Earlier in the week, I was watching when y'all had Coach on earlier in the week, and I believe it was him that said, I believe Coach said, the last time we met, Ty Simpson played just about a perfect half of football, and they still just barely beat us. And he said, I just don't believe he can do that again. Yeah. And leave it to Coach. Lord knows that man is he's a savant. I love watching the watch along show and just listening to his comments. And I told Roddy last week, my new favorite thing to do is I'll have the game on the TV, but have the sound muted and just listen to y'all on my phone on the watch along show. Yeah. Because I mean, it's y'all. I like hearing you and Roddy and Coach, and the commentators are so awful now that I can't stand to listen to them. And Herbstreit and Fowler's okay; he's not so bad, but Herbstreit's annoying, and Joe Tessitore. Don't even get me started on that guy, and the Bachelor Jesse Palmer. So.
Well, the experience you described, that's exactly what we hope to make, is something that is built for Georgia fans to get more out of the game. And there's a Georgia slant to it, but I think that you've watched enough. If Georgia deserves criticism, even Coach does it as well. And these are, guys that he coached when he was the head coach of Georgia, and Mike Bobo and Kirby Smart. He will tell you exactly what he thinks. And Roddy and I do the same thing. So we build it exactly for that. They give you another option so you can time it up with that. And GA Dog says, I do the same thing, but I don't mute the game. Totally fine. You can have both sets of commentators if your ears can handle it. But it's so much fun to do. And the experience that you just described, I really appreciate you saying that, because it's fun for us to deliver that for y'all.
Well, that comes through. It comes through that y'all are having a good time. And for anybody who's watching this that has never done it, for God's sake, watch the postgame, watch the watch along show, because Coach Donnan, not only is he like a wizard at calling what plays coming up. I mean, it's unbelievable. That guy is so damn funny. I didn't realize he was that funny.
Oh yeah,
he's hilarious. He's got a real dry wit, which is what I like, and it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it.
You see the charisma that helped get some of the recruits that he did in his career.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
Well, hey, South, I know Americus is going to be booming tonight. I know any Sunday services tomorrow, what the chatter will be about. It'll be a great time down there. Appreciate you calling in and supporting what we do. We got some other folks that will hop in here. If you're hanging out later on and want to rejoin the show, you're always welcome to do so.
Cool. Hey, thanks, Dayne. Go Dogs.
South GA Dog checking in from Americus area. We'll get John in here in just a moment, but I want to catch up on the chat here. And I guess eyes are now shifting nationally to the kickoff of Indiana and Ohio State. I don't know seeding wise how much that's going to affect what Georgia has going on here, because if Ohio State wins, they're going to be the number one seed. If Indiana wins, they're going to be the number one seed because of the win over Ohio State. The only thing is, if that's some big, crazy, dramatic end of the game victory, perhaps you can see where Ohio State won, Indiana would stay 2, and Georgia go to 3. I don't. Georgia's going to be 2 or 3, most likely 2 is my guess in this scenario, because this was such a massive beatdown kind of win. And look, I think Alabama still needs to be in the playoff, or we need to stop having SEC and Big Ten championship games. That's my personal opinion. I can understand if y'all look at that and say that's not one of the 12 best teams in the country. And I think I agree with you. I just don't like the precedent of you play a postseason game that you qualified for, and that be the reason that you don't get in a 12-team playoff. It was already bad enough when it happened to Georgia 2 seasons ago. Georgia loses SEC championship and then drops to number 6 out of the 4-team. But the difference with that being, in a 4-team playoff, it is not plausible that you're one of the best 4 teams in the country if you're not one of the best 2 teams in your conference, meaning you needed to have made the conference championship game. When they expand that playoff, it is totally plausible that you could be one of the best 12 teams in the country and not be one of the best 2 teams in your conference. So I think the math of that has adjusted here to where I don't think you can leave Alabama out of the college football playoff because they had this game that Georgia calls to have happen. Like, to me, that would say you're better off not competing for an SEC championship than if you did. That's my take on it. Let's get John in here, longtime supporter of the Postgame Overreaction show. I don't know what there is to overreact here. I guess I'm just going to open up the floor and say Georgia 28-7, back-to-back champs.
Hey, absolutely. And in the words of the great Roquan Smith, we could not wait to get on that field and play defense. And that may look like, and they said it 2 or 3 times on the broadcast, how they look like that. Hey, Dayne, it was 10 years ago today that there was a press conference in Athens.
Yep.
And there's a guy sitting down on I think he lives on Fernandina or Crescent Beach, that made an unpopular decision. And there's a lot of people that say they support it now. But there's a lot of people said we're firing a good man and this and that. Somewhere Greg McGarry ought not to have to buy a drink in the state of Georgia for the rest of his life.
Well, there's a lot of butterfly effect there. If South Carolina doesn't flirt with Kirby as hard as they did, does Georgia pull that trigger? I don't know the answer to that.
I don't either. And you look back on everything. Look how many head coaches there have been. The guy's unbelievable. And I know it comes down to players and recruiting, and I've said it time and time again. I loved Mark Richt, but we're a completely different program. Completely.
Let me sneak this comment from Richard Allen because it made me laugh. It says, "Hi, Dayne. I'm drunk or I would talk to you right now. It's great to be a Georgia Bulldog on a Saturday night, and go Dogs." Appreciate the honesty, Richard. I'd love to chat with you, but we can do it another time if that's what's best for your life. And I have John up here right now. Yeah, look, 10 years ago, Georgia hired the best coach it's ever had in football. And,
absolutely.
Vince Dooley was fantastic. Mark Richt, I think if the playoff exists then, probably has multiple national championships. You never know. 02 was good. 05 was really good. 07 was playing better than anyone else at the end of the season. 12, if you give that team another shot against Bama, I think they win it. There's so many things that you could say if they had even a 4-team playoff, what would have Georgia been, much less a 12. Most years Georgia would have been in a 12-team playoff back then. But the fact that you can have a starting center that has been one of your most consistent players go out, and you have the depth and talent on that team to replace that, I think that's the part that Georgia is better at than anything else.
Absolutely. And I think and again, this is just a casual fan. I think he's bound and determined to break the cycle of NIL. I mean, NIL is always going to be there, but I think he is committed to saying, we want people that want to be here and we're not playing this game. And I think that's I mean, obviously championships driving him, but it just over and over again, he says things that he wants to break that and he wants to have the guys that stay and he's just bound and determined. That's the tea leaves that I'm reading.
When we look ahead to playoffs here, John, are there teams that you want to see Georgia face, not want to see Georgia? And I'm talking this first round situation. So I'm not saying one of these top fours.
So you're probably going to be two, I would think, unless like you said, unless this game's played in a phone booth and which I don't think it's going to be.
Yeah, and the only way that I think that Georgia would be three is if something like Indiana had a lead for most of the game and Ohio State hit something, deep late that somehow won it by a fraction, and it was like a legendary kind of game, and it would just be hard to punish Indiana for hanging in that way. More than likely, Georgia will be two.
Yeah, and I don't know. So is that a 7-8 winner? I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah, so Georgia, whether it's like 2 or 3, I mean, it's going to depend who wins those like first round games, right? So
right. So you're going to play right.
Yeah,
you're going to play the winner of the 7. What game would it be if they're the 2?
More than likely, I'm trying to think how that bracket's going to work out for that, because I don't think that. I mean, if look, I don't think James Madison or Tulane are going to get wins in the college football playoff anyway. It's probably the same for Virginia, and I think either Virginia or James Madison get in based on how I see this. I don't think Georgia will play any of those 3. So you start looking at teams. Ole Miss Part 2 could be in play. Oregon could be in play. Like you start kind of looking a little bit deeper down there in that range. Could a round 3 with Alabama happen? I think that would terrify some folks.
I don't know. And this is probably not a hot take, but you know who Ty Simpson is? He's Grayson Lambert. Replace that South Carolina game from 2015 with the game against Georgia. I mean, what has he done? What has he done other than that? Seriously,
Coach said Bo Nix.
I think Bo Nix is probably better. But yeah, I can see that. But Grayson Lambert had that.
No, I'm not talking Broncos Bo Nix. And maybe you're saying Oregon Bo Nix was better too. I think he was thinking of Auburn Bo Nix.
And listen, I'm not going to dog the guy, but I think that he played out of his mind in that first game. But yeah, I don't know. I think other than Ohio State in the first round, I don't know that. I think Georgia's peaking at the right time, obviously, and I think that you don't think that he's going to remind them what happened. I think he's already said it a couple of times. Coach has that remind him what happened last year after winning the SEC. You think that they're going to hear about that for the next 28 days or whatever it is?
Well, and they were so tested last year with just the circumstances of, I mean, you have the terrorist attack down there in New Orleans. You have Kirby Smart's father situation at that time. For a team that prides itself on being able to handle any distractions or not focusing on things away from the field, there was a lot that caught Georgia's attention, and that's even before you get to the fact that Gunnar Stockton was making his first career start in that game. And, the teams that can pull off upsets are the ones that play really physical, and Notre Dame was that last season. It's why they not only beat Georgia but went to the national championship and had a chance to win that by the end of it, which that was crazy to see. So you start looking for those kind of physical teams, and John, I don't see a lot of those.
No, I don't either. And I don't. I like Georgia's chances. I don't know that they'll win the whole thing because you got to get. But you get in, you get in, and you always have a chance. But I don't want to. I want to enjoy tonight before thinking about that. Hey, let me ask you this: who does Greg Sankey ultimately report to? The university presidents?
Yeah, I mean that's who he primarily chats with. I guess to some degree, athletic directors, if they in unison, had feedback for Greg Sankey. But yeah, he reports to university presidents. And then ultimately media partners. I would say it's a combination of those things.
Because here's my thing. I don't think that the coaches really wanted the 9-game schedule. So now let's just say Alabama gets left out and Texas and Vandy don't get in. He's going to face a lot of pressure to get rid of it. And I know you're going to have your diehards like Kirby Smart to say this game means a lot. But what what advantage does it have to play? Like Notre Dame's sitting at home, and now they're on the bubble, but they didn't have to do anything, to get in to be on the bubble. Alabama basically played itself out. So now you're going to say, well, you have to win, you have to keep it close to get in if you're on the bubble.
Yeah.
What is the and I listen, I love this game, not just because Georgia's won, but what is the advantage to anybody in the conference? You've played a 9-game schedule, and then you're on the bubble, you're a 9th-ranked team, and you lose. You've been better off sitting at home, even if you drop to 12.
I've thought about this a lot, John, and I know we've got Drew in Pike County that I'm going to get into here in just a moment and bring in for some of this conversation. I think where we're at is that the way that college football has evolved very rapidly in the last 5 years, maybe if you want to go 8 to when playoff chatter was really beginning, you almost have 3 different models that they shove together, and they're not cohesive. If you're going to have a 12, and I think media partners are yelling that they want to expand the playoff more because they'll make more money and more teams can be involved, and then there's more hope of upsets and national champions. I expect that will happen because the only thing that is the agent of change in this sport is media dollars. That is the primary driver of how we've gotten to this point. In a 4-team playoff, SEC championships and Big Ten championships ultimately still mattered, because 4 is such a small number. When you go to 12, or if you expand up to 18, or God, even like 24, I don't think that you can justify having an SEC or a Big Ten championship. And by that point, you probably can't even justify Big 12, or you could probably do ACC based on what we've seen this year. Like, second best team in the ACC.
And I think, again, this is just a middle-aged guy sitting in his kitchen, but I have a feeling, my worry is, as a purist and a lover of the game, are we going to devalue the regular season? Because here's why, and I've made it known. I'm not a huge Sarkisian fan. I commend Texas for saying we're going to honor. They're playing Michigan, I think, next year.
Yeah.
Like, what advantage does Texas have to play Michigan? They don't. They're better off playing, East West University and the Sisters of the Poor for 2 games, because ultimately the regular season really doesn't matter. You just have to win.
What
you
advantage?
Just win.
Georgia playing Tech when it did in a game that it lost its starting center for the rest of the season.
Right. What is the advantage? We're going to devalue, and we're talking about revenue dollars, and all these things. And again, I think Alabama's going to be nervous tonight. I think Greg Sankey ought to be nervous. I really do.
If you're asking I think what's ultimately going to end up happening is that more teams will get buys in an expanded playoff. And so you may not have an SEC championship in this way. Someone maybe crown that for regular season. So in this case, Georgia, Alabama, Texas A&M, and Ole Miss probably get buys, right? And then you probably have a playoff situation for a 5th SEC team to get in. Whether it's like 5 versus 6 to see who gets that spot, or maybe it's somehow you back up the regular season and it's, a 4-team SEC playoff for 1 spot. I don't know, but they're going to find a way to adjust the schedule on this to get there. That's my guess of where this, because they've already floated that idea out there of taking teams that are more middle of the pack and having them play each other to work their way into the playoff.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's again, I don't feel sorry for Alabama at all, but I don't see how this could play against them. They beat the team that just beat them on their own field. Again, so you're going to say Oklahoma, but it's a better Oklahoma team, like they said on the broadcast, than beat them last year. I again, don't feel sorry for them, but I don't see how they can get left out.
John, I'm going to bring in Drew from Pike County. You can hang out and just be here if you'd like and comment as you want. But if you need to bail too.
Yeah. Y'all take it. I'm going to try. Is the boss coming on, or has he already hit the bourbon?
Oh, look at him. Look at that.
Oh, there he is, the boss.
Ask and you shall receive, Habibi. Ask and you shall receive.
Hey, I'm going to repeat myself. I just want to say to you, because I know you probably were, beating the drum. There's a guy on Fernandina Beach tonight that 10 years ago made a huge decision that a lot of people say they liked then, like now, but they didn't like then. And if Greg McGarity has to buy a drink in this state for the rest of his life, then we've done something wrong. God bless Greg McGarity. That's all I got to say. I know you feel the same way.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's I tell people all the time, especially when we start nitpicking the shit out of, my Mike Bobo call or a defensive miss or something like that. I'm like, folks, in a rebuilding year, this is not a reload. This was a rebuild from the floor up. You are sitting at 12-1, and you barely lost that one. It's a 3-point loss. And that's because of the man in charge. And I get accused by some of the people in our industry of going, "You're such a homer for Kirby Smart." I'm like, no, I just know quality when I see it. If I'd been covering Alabama, I'd have said the same exact stuff about Nick Saban. The man's attention to detail, his development. You look at how garbage this defense was to start the season. Look at how they played tonight. -3 yards for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now, granted, their running backs were out, but look how they tried. They damn sure tried. And you had schemes, and he's like, okay, we're not good in pass protection, or we're not good on defense. We're going to cover up a great offense and special teams. They play to their strengths, and that's all because of Kirby Smart. So I give the man credit, and people can call me a homer all you want, but I'm giving credit where it's due, because that's been 10 years of absolute domination. 8-1 against Tech, and 9-1 against Tennessee and Auburn and stuff. I mean, just an absolute butt kicking. And now the one Achilles heel he's had is Alabama, and he buried that issue tonight. I'm telling you, it's a new era.
And he's the longest senior coach in the conference by 6 years at this point?
4 years. 4. There's some guys with 6.
Who?
Yeah.
Who am I missing?
Drinkwitz.
So it's Kirby and then Drinkwitz, because Lane just shifted. Lane was up there.
Yeah. Shane's been there a while too. Shane might have been there.
Hey, I'll get off. I have a quick. Is Mark Stoops going to be involved in this team at all next year, as close as him and Kirby are? You think?
No.
No. You think he gets a head job somewhere?
No. I think he hangs out in Kentucky and counts his money.
Okay.
That's my guess.
Appreciate y'all. Go Dogs.
Thanks, John.
See you, man.
All right.
Hey, we're going to bring in Drew from Pike County, because he's been hanging on for a while, Roddy.
All right. I love it. Drew, give us your thoughts.
Hey. What's up, man? I was hoping that I would get on with Roddy. That's awesome, because I love Roddy.
No love for me.
And Dayne too. And you too. Oh man, dude, I don't even know where to start. Holy crap. I told my kids, this year, whenever we've won a big game, we've always done a victory lap around my house. It's kind of a tradition we started this year. And I said, man, if we win this game, I'm gonna do 3 laps around this house. Okay. I'm kind of after I did it, I'm like, man, I should have just said 1 lap, because I'm not in the shape.
How long is the lap? So I need to know how much property.
It's not that long. Okay. I'm not in the best of shape.
And then how chilly is it outside while you're doing this? And did you?
It's cold. It's very cold.
Okay.
And I was running in knockoff Crocs too, so
Did you have the sports mode at least?
I did.
Okay.
Four-wheel drive, baby. Got to keep.
There you go. I love it.
But yeah, afterward, they were like, "Come on, we gotta go do our victory laps," and I was just sitting there soaking it all in, soaking up Kirby's post game interview and Gunners, and just my phone's blowing up when my buddy's freaking out. Can you believe this? Belt to ass, baby. Belt. I mean, I got 6 pictures of belts on my phone now. And then to see Christian Miller wearing out the freaking bench with the belt, it made my night. Just incredible. I can't. The defense, man. Good God, they kicked Ty Simpson's ass all night. Incredible.
Yeah, and I don't know that we've seen that defense look that way this year.
No.
That's the best they've played. I mean, -3 yards. Come on. One of my friends on staff, 15 years. I waited 15 years to beat Bama like this in this game. So, hey, you saw Kirby Smart's demeanor after the game was over. Just the smiles. I say when the game was over, about 3 minutes in, when they went for it on 4th down, on their own 8-yard line or whatever it was, he knew the game was over. He starts smiling. He's grinning. He's still, tough on his guys, but the release from Kirby Smart has to be gigantic. I mean, I'm with you. everybody in Dog Nation, even up 14-0 at the half, you're like, well, hell, you've had Alabama in this situation before, and they've come back to beat you. Then you're up 21-0, and you're like, okay, I'm feeling really good about this, but are they just setting us up for an even worse heartbreak, you know? And then that drive where Alabama, everything goes their way on that 92-yard drive. I mean, penalty after penalty after stupid play. And it just felt ordained that they were getting back into it. But next time they get the ball 3 and out, you're like, oh, okay, that's it. Yeah, you're done. And then they have to go for it on their own end of the field. And just watching Kirby Smart, you saw him on College Game Day. He's so stoic. He's so scared to tip his hat. He doesn't like joking around. He just wants to. He does his media obligations as quickly and succinctly as possible. But once he wins, he cuts loose, and you saw it today, and you could see how much this game meant to him and his team.
Oh yeah, I love it.
He'll probably run around the Smear building.
Oh, he said they're going to practice. He said they had to. I was like, he's going to get on the mic and keep everybody up over there.
He better put DeMello Jones's ass out to practice right now.
Oh, that dude.
So DeMello had those 2 penalties, right? First one, he gets chewed out for because it was stupid because you get a personal foul penalty. I don't know if you noticed this, Drew, but in the second one, and Coach Donnan, man, he even with his eyesight, he sees things so much differently and better than I do.
Hey, they might have just killed Dean at a quarterback.
Oh, is there a bad injury?
Oh, no.
They just knocked him. They just cracked his head.
Fernando?
No.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, that would change things drastically.
Yeah, it would. That's massive.
But
I got a really small screen here. I look over, and all of a sudden, his head, bang.
The pass interference, though, that happens. And 2 things. One, Kirby Smart's reaction to DeMello, I was like, oh no, second penalty that kept this drive alive. I thought it was going to be like Kirby kind of exploding at DeMello. He was intense, but he was very much more calm than the personal foul. And then Donnan sees the replay and he says, probably a pretty good thing he did that because he saved a touchdown by pulling him down to the ground. And I was like, wow. And I'm not saying that DeMello played that well, but just the fact that like Kirby could assess that in a moment to have that restraint and not just go off on him. I think that's a bit of what you're saying, Roddy, of like the CEO, but then also he knows like when to release and then when to pull back. Like all of that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like he just always yells at people anyway. Drew's seen it.
Oh, yeah.
He was furious after their national championship game, the first one, you know.
I'm just surprised in that TCU one that we didn't see him ripping the guys for eating chicken tenders on the sideline.
I'm sure they probably had like extra lifts or something, you know, the guys that weren't done, you know, they're coming back. Oh, you're coming back next year? All right. Meet us at 5 a.m. We got some stadium steps to run. You know, so.
2 rounds of stadium steps for every tender you ate.
Yeah. I mean, you can't be too mad. Can't be too mad for doing that.
Yeah.
Hey, Roddy,
yeah. I like what Mike says. Easier to have that restraint when you're up by 3 touchdowns.
Fair. That's a really good point. Roddy, I know that Drew just got on here and there's some people waiting as well. So I'm going to slide out and let y'all do your thing. And if my kids are sleeping, I may slide back in later, but it depends if they're awake or asleep or what I'm running to when I get home.
Awesome.
So thanks, all y'all, everybody on the dog vent that hangs out with us. We appreciate y'all. This has been a really fun season and we're excited to keep it going because we've got, I'm going to say 3 more games that we get to do this.
I like it.
Cool. See ya.
All right. See you, Dane. We're getting a lot of questions about Noah Thomas. I don't know what was going on with him. I mean, he didn't play. I didn't know that he was hurt at all.
I can't remember who it was because I follow so many dang people on freaking X for Georgia, but I saw somebody
back spasms.
Yeah, it may have been you that posted it. Back spasms, yeah.
Kirby Smart says that Noah Thomas tried to go with back spasms today, and that would be the issue there. Shout out to Kirby Smart for having won the SEC title 3 out of the last 4 years, 2022, 2024, 2025. And think about this. Points allowed the last 4 games, weeks 12, 13, 14, and the SEC championship. Against Texas, Georgia allowed 10. Against Charlotte, they allowed 3. Against Georgia Tech, they allowed 9. And against Alabama, they allowed 7. So I'm no genius, but that's 29 points over 4 games. Now, I am a University of Georgia graduate. I got my degree in journalism, where we never have to do math because journalists are stupid. So 29 divided by 4 games, isn't that right around 7 points a game?
I think that'll do. I think that'll. I'll take that. That's a damn good deal.
That seems
I'll
pretty.
take that.
That seems pretty. All right, I got TJ, Willie, and Amari in the section here. I'm gonna bring them on in just a second, but first I need to mention our friends over at Hunker Spirits. It's ASW Distillery, folks. You can tell that I've got the victory pour here of our Hunker bourbon. Georgia is going to go absolutely ham in the transfer portal. I know they'd love to get. People talk about like Cam Coleman of Auburn. If he goes in the portal, how much you're going to need to get that kid? That's a $2 million kid. Just give me it. And somebody's going to pay it. Georgia probably won't. I know Georgia would love to have him, but the money that Georgia is going to spend in the portal is going to be nuts. So if you've got people like the folks at ASW Distillery who are helping Georgia's NIL efforts, take care of the people who sponsor your Georgia Bulldogs. So if you want fantastic bourbon, if you want a bourbon to celebrate with tonight, any of the Fiddler bourbons, any of the stuff that ASW makes, they're award-winning bourbons. It's 5 of the 6 founders are Georgia graduates. You need to try their bourbon. It's better than half the stuff better than 90% of the stuff you'll see on the shelves. And you want one specially designed for Georgia fans, get the Hunker bourbon. They also have Hunker vodka. Stop doing Tito's. If I see Tito's at your tailgate, I'm going to throw it in the street because now you're supporting University of Texas. So we can't have any of that bullshit running around here. So shout out to ASW Distillery for sponsoring this show and for sponsoring your Georgia Bulldogs. Look at what's happened with you in the transfer portal. I mean, the guys that you've got, Zach Branch and folks like that, that's what you need. So, all right, TJ, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
TJ, let's get your thoughts on this game.
I just came on here to say one thing. I was on here back the last time Alabama and Georgia played when we lost, and it was all death and despair. Everybody all they wanted to talk about was how awful that defense was, and I vaguely remember saying, I don't worry about that defense because of the head man and the defensive coordinator that we got in Glenn Schumann. I remember saying that defense is young.
You want him fired?
Well, guess what? That defense ain't young no more. They're not first and second year starters. They're second and third year starters now. So them guys were dominant tonight. They kept pressuring Ty Simpson's face, and there was Alabama's offensive line. I mean, they were all healthy. So I mean, they did a great job of getting pressure, and then the secondary and Ellis Robinson did a wonderful job. The only reason they got 7 points on the board was 2 stupid penalties from our secondary, and that's it. So
Yep.
That is correct.
Say go dogs.
Hey.
Say go dogs.
Go dogs. Yeah. Go dogs. Let's go.
I love it. TJ, you had a lot more faith than I did, man. I was okay, so that was game 4, right? Georgia's defense, after giving up 8 straight third downs to start the game, and then everybody came on and said, "Oh, well, they didn't score in the second half." I'm like, "Yeah,
go inside. It's cold."
That's because they missed a field goal. Remember, Alabama got the ball, drove the field, and just missed. And then, Georgia scored a touchdown. Then Alabama had another long drive. Georgia couldn't get off the field even in the second half when everyone said, "Oh, well, they shut them out in the second half." I'm like, by luck. That was by luck. You saw how well Joey Aguilar looked at Tennessee, just lit them up. Hell, then Ole Miss comes out and scores 5 straight touchdowns on them. I'm like, this defense is garbage. But you're right. They have gotten better. You saw Quintavious Johnson, 33, in a bunch of different places. C.J. Allen, who was banged up. Raylan Wilson were everywhere. Rashawn Dinkins gets his first start of the year, number 27. It's big for him to step in for Aguero, who I think was banged up. Or We didn't see Zion Branch. Georgia still only has one safety still. And for them to get, Gabe has played a lot better. Gabe Harris had hardly any stats the first 4 or 5 games of the season. He's come on huge. Your defensive line, there should have been a hands to the face call on Elijah Griffin when he came through when they were down close to the Alabama end zone there. He came through and they just turned his head completely backwards. They'll call Georgia for that, but not Alabama. But I'm with you. The defensive line got better. Vertical pressure, edge pressure, and coverage in the secondary. There were times that Ty Simpson had plenty of options, plenty of time to throw the ball. He had great protection. Nobody was open.
And look, I'm not going to rag on 15 for those 2 bad penalties. Kirby will. That's his
Kirby
job.
chewed his ass.
But look, 15 does a really great job of setting the edge whenever he needs to, coming down and pushing everything back inside. And he's played phenomenal in coverage too. So he gets a bit of a pass for those 2. But man, I just want to come on here and say how dominant that defense was. And yeah, man, great win. And if we play like that and better than that, the rest of the season ain't nobody beating us. That includes Ohio State. So
that's bold words, TJ, but you were right the first time when I thought you were full of liquor and beer and whatever.
But all right, y'all, I'm gonna hop off here. Y'all have a good night. Thank you for letting me come on and say my piece.
Who was that you had on there with you, TJ?
That was my daughter.
What's her name?
Briley.
That's adorable. Fantastic. And you're obviously raising her right, so.
Oh, she's back when we played Florida, she said, "Go Dogs. We hate them stinking Gators." So
that's my girl. I love it.
That's how we raise them around here.
Fantastic. All right, TJ, we'll see you later, happy.
All right, y'all have a good night.
See you. All right, Drew, we've got Willie, Carlin, and Amari. I'm gonna go 4 spots because I feel like you guys have to wait too long. And Omari Carmichael, I've been waiting on this son of a bitch to come on this show for like 100 years. He is a huge. He's been good to us forever. One of our early guys, and I keep telling him to come on. He hasn't done it. So, and Willie, of course, there's Willie. He comes on and he gives us some good insight. But I'm bringing on Amari too. We'll take him in order. Willie, give me your thoughts, and then we'll go to Amari and get his thoughts.
Good evening.
Good evening,
What
sir.
a fun day.
Oh, yo.
I guess my thoughts are that through the season, we've pretty much gotten a lot of good breaks. The Auburn game, the missed field goal at the end of the game against Tennessee.
Correct.
We beat their ass tonight. I mean,
yeah.
There was no good breaks, lucky, what a call, that kind of thing. Just, this team has grown up and become the bull in the woods, so to speak. And I'm just, that's the main thing is that they got lucky a couple of 3 times through the season. Tonight, is this the first time besides the non-conference games that the other team didn't score on the first drive?
It feels like it. It really does. I think Georgia kept
much less the
Texas
first
on their
4
first drive.
drives.
Yeah. You're right. That was the defense came to play. You're right.
And and I know everybody's talking about how sad it would be that Alabama doesn't get in because of the losing because they played in the conference game, but I would love to just knock them out of the playoffs. And
I think we all would.
It's like
I'm with you. Hey, well, here's the thing, and we'll go to Amari next.
Yeah,
Alabama didn't play in the title game. Georgia did. Georgia lost. Alabama gets into the playoffs. Georgia drops to 6.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
You talk about a couple of years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyhow, so yeah.
Just
those are my 2 main thoughts on the game. But just such a fun game to watch and be, to have a rooting interest in. Because I'm watching, I turned it, but I turned it over to the Duke and Virginia game.
Yeah.
That stadium's at best half full, probably a quarter full of whatever that stadium holds. There's nobody there.
Yeah, nobody cares. You're right.
Yeah.
Amari, thank you for joining us.
Hello. So my thoughts are.
I'm so excited.
You got it, Radi.
Every game we play against Alabama has always been close. When we had Kirby, this is the only time where one team has blown the other out, and we just dominated. So against all the records, 1-7 against Alabama, blah blah blah, like
17 straight wins in Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean we could have shut them out if it wasn't for 2 penalties. Correct. We could have shut them out, and how can they not drop out of the playoffs?
Right.
Amar, you're right. I'm gonna tell you why they won't. If you drop them out, conferences will say we're not playing the conference championship game anymore.
They're going to say that regardless.
That money.
I don't think they're going to play it. They're going to say it regardless.
No, I'm with you.
But wait, who are they paying? Who are they paying for that game? Are they paying the conference or are they paying the NCAA?
The conference makes the money. The teams make
the conference ain't gonna say no until the conference.
But here's the thing: it's like, okay, you're right. If you lose, if one of your teams falls out of the playoffs for playing in this game, you lose a hell of a lot more. So I could see a situation where they're like, "Look,
do you? I don't know. I mean, do you?"
I'm gonna reach out to Josh Brooks tomorrow and say, "Look, how much did you guys make for playing in this? How much does the conference make, and how much do you make for making it to the playoffs?" Because you see these conferences are working so hard to get their teams into the playoffs. I want to know what the payout is because,
and I understand that.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be that's what it's going to come down to. And Amari makes a great point. I told Catherine Skeen, our photographer, I went by the Dome first before I did the watch along show with Coach Down, and she goes, "What do you think?" I said, "I think Georgia's going to win. They're just due." I'm terrified of playing this game without Drew Bobo, but let's give Malachi Tolliver credit. He did really good. But I'm like, this game without Drew Bobo makes me nervous as hell, but Georgia is due. And if they ever break through, they are going to – it'll be a 41-10 game, something like that. Not that was my prediction. But when you've been beaten on, when you finally get over that hump, you release all that frustration, all that anger. And Omari's right. When have we seen a team just take Alabama to the woodshed like this? That was a humiliating loss. And if I'm the conference and I'm looking at Miami and Notre Dame, I'm like, we can avoid that controversy completely, put them both in, drop Alabama out. A 3-loss Alabama.
This is what I think I see getting kind of overlooked with Bama. That FSU loss happened this year. It didn't happen last year.
Right.
It happened this year. I know it was week 1 and whatever. They still got just not destroyed, but they got beat by 2 scores against an awful Florida State team. Like, that did happen, playoff committee. Like, I know that they're playing way better than they were, but it happened. And now they have 3 losses. And then compare them to Notre Dame. Notre Dame's 2 losses are against 2 playoff teams.
That's a good point.
Kirby was all about getting a 3-score lead and sitting on it, or it would have been 42-7.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you there. I also want to point this out. Amari, give me your thoughts on the penalties tonight. Remember, we have to overreact, and there's nothing to really overreact to tonight. I mentioned on Friday that the first meeting between these 2 teams, Georgia had its worst penalties of the season, penalty yards, like 68 yards Georgia hasn't come close to that all year. Alabama only had one penalty. They were the least penalized team. That was the least penalized they had been all year. So it was Georgia's most penalties and Alabama's least out of all 12 games they had played prior to this game. This week, tonight, Georgia had 80 yards of penalties, 7 of them. Alabama even less because they had 15 yards in the first game, 5 today. They had 1 penalty. So if Georgia had cleaned itself up, you might have had a 41-0 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Kirby took the chance because, like Coach said, please play more man-to-man. So when you play more man-to-man, you're going to have those penalties because you're not playing zone. So maybe you get a couple pass interference. Maybe you get a couple more holding calls. So, but, at the end, shout out to Ellis Robertson. He locked it down. He totally surprised. Like, I got to give my apologies because I was one of the ones calling, like, man, this dude should not play. Like, what is up with him?
Drew pointed himself.
They should play more than man-to-man. If they play Ohio State, play more man-to-man. Mm-hmm. Get those 15-yard penalties every once in a while. That's fine. But how many yards did Bernard have?
Jeremy Bernard, they're the guy who just gashed Georgia last time. 6 catches for 62 yards. That he had long of 23. He had the 1 touchdown. He also had a drop.
The referee on that pick play by the ref. That was a great play by the ref.
That was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
great play.
Okay, who thinks when Kirby watches the film, he tells them go through that ref next time?
Longest yard style, baby.
It'll be the playoffs, right?
Yeah. If you get kicked out of the game, so what?
Wrong spot. Tackle everybody, let the refs sort it out,
they got a backup ref somewhere they can bring in. That's all right.
They do bring at least 2 alternative referees to every thing. So, but that was.
I just had a thought with the penalties thing. The play with right before half where we got a roughing the passer. That is weird that happened, of course, to us. But like the past 2 weeks, I swear I have seen that same thing play out like 4 or 5 times. And I'm just like, what do you want the defensive end to do? He's getting rode into the quarterback. He can't.
Yeah.
Like, and there's nothing they can do. Like, I don't know what they want them to do. Of course, I don't want quarterbacks to have their ACLs blown out. Of course, nobody wants that. But what are the defensive ends supposed to do in that situation?
Looked to me like he slipped on all those black pellets coming into him.
The ground up tires or whatever that junk is.
Amar, what was your thought on that play?
Well, I thought he kind of got a little bit pushed. So I wouldn't have I don't know. It could have gone either way. I would have called the one where they were in the end zone as a safety, though. There was totally holding on that one when Alabama was in there. But, sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. Like I said, I thought he was a little bit pushed by the offensive lineman. But, they called roughing and passer. And it was fine. At the end of the day, we won. So
I'm with you there. And again, let's see. Our Jason Butt, he writes something for us every day. He asked in our group chat during the game. He's like, shouldn't that have actually been a safety? And I'm like, no, he tackled him below the waist. And everyone's like, yeah, but he was blocked into the quarterback. I'm like, oh yeah. So if he's blocked into the quarterback in the end zone, it shouldn't have been a penalty. And yeah, might have been a safety. Again, it's the same thing as hoping Alabama gets knocked out of the playoffs, just to rub salt in the wound to get a safety on them.
Oh yes.
Let the defense score. Yeah. And how about Dayne Young coming up with his first interception of the year?
How many picks has he got in the SEC championship game? Good Lord.
It's got to be, what, 3 at least?
3? It's got to be 3. Yeah, he got 2 against Texas last year, right?
He did. He got 2 against Texas. And, they threw him up as one of the difference makers at the first of the game, the first drive. And I'm going, they never have done much of anything all year. How's he the difference maker? Why isn't KJ Bolden's picture up there? Anyhow, here or there on that.
You don't hear a lot of KJ's name a whole lot. Don't get me wrong. You're right. He is a difference maker, but you just don't see any huge plays from him. He just goes out there and gets all these tackles and is in the right spot at the right time. But
but I mean,
he's a quiet. Let's see how many tackles he had today.
And like I said, I don't think he's got but 2 interceptions on the season, but
he had 3 tackles tonight. So.
He's kind of he's like I said, he's covering up the middle of the field back there, and
he's good at directing those guys.
Guess who led the team in tackles?
I'm gonna say Thomas. Corey Thomas.
Amari.
CJ Allen.
All right, Willie.
Who led the team in tackles? DeMello Jones.
Corey Thomas.
Yeah,
Corey Thomas.
Let's go.
What is the world coming to with Corey Thomas, who I've bragged all damn year, leads the team in tackles in the SEC championship game? Damn.
That dude was everywhere.
He was. Shout out to Ja'Cory and
Rod Robinson.
Yes.
Who would have thought about that?
Who had your first touchdown from Broderick Robinson on your card? And who?
Nobody.
That made me so happy. That made me so happy for that kid. Good Lord.
Yes.
How wild is it that they had?
Maybe he won't go to the portal.
I hope
not. He's gone, dude. That's why they did it. Was to give him some good tape for the portal. Seriously, the reason they played him so much in that game against Charlotte and some of the other guys, they know some of these kids are transferring, and they put him in there to give him some good tape.
Yeah.
True.
Hey,
if he does, I hope he.
You absolutely can't blame him. He's been recruited over. So, but the crazy thing on that is, Drew, he slipped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, he slipped. Yes.
Yeah.
You talk about the little
same thing. Slipped on them black tire things. Yeah.
Damn that Sola Stadium.
But shout out to him. Can you imagine how nervous he had to be when that ball's coming to him?
Oh God, yeah.
He's like, this is my one shot.
Yeah.
Lord, I don't ask for much, but let this be true.
And so will blocking a punt keep Cole Spear from hitting the portal?
It may, because Coles has a good time, but that kid is a starting wide receiver at a lot of schools.
I understand that. I mean, he's good, but he hadn't been on the field other than special teams.
Yeah, who are you going to take out to play him?
Well, I just don't.
Exactly.
That's what
I
portal,
agree with you. I'm just saying, if Cole Spear puts his name in the portal, I'll help him pack, because that kid has given you everything, and he will go somewhere else. It's like who was the kid that went to Syracuse last year and tore it up?
Means Spears started with an M.
Meeks. Jackson
Meeks.
Went with Fran Brown.
And Mekhi Muse transferred.
Where did he transfer to?
Didn't he? Was he Tulane or something? Something like that, somewhere. But he's done really. You've got a lot of guys that George is very excited to get in, and you can only play 11 at a time. So some of these kids transfer, they do really well. But the fact that your heroes of the game are Cole Spear and Roderick Robinson.
Yeah.
The reason I'm pointing this out, and Omari's heard me say this 70,000 times. If I have to pick a college football coach to win something, I'm going to pick Kirby Smart, not because of the X's and O's. I disagree with those half the time. I second guess them just like we all do. But his 1 to 85 on his roster, if the field is level, he will assess talent, bring it in, and develop it better than anybody in the country. I mean, you go take a kid like Eric Stokes, who's never played cornerback before, and you make him a first-round draft pick. You grab a Devontae Wyatt and make him a first-round draft pick. You find kids that will take coaching, and you develop them. And you get Rod Robinson through all his injuries, and you bring Cole Spear. And remember, they designed these plays for Cole Spear, and his roster is just going to beat your roster because he's going to have better players top to bottom. Now, when he runs into a really good team, it doesn't always work. But I'm just saying the point is, when I wrote my column on Friday, I'm like, who's going to be the secret weapon? Because you know they're going to go to somebody on one of these big plays that nobody's thinking about. And it drives me crazy when they throw that pass to Talon Taylor and he drops it. Or they're throwing it to this bomb to C.J. Wiley or whoever it is. And I'm like, why can't you do that to London Humphreys or Dylan Bell? But the idea is the other team doesn't really know who the hell they are, and those guys can catch it. So,
Ronnie Taylor had one too. Taylor had a touchdown too. God, I wanted him to get a touchdown so bad on the play. I wanted him to get a touchdown so bad.
Yeah,
great play by.
I was going to say, to compound on what Roddy said. How would you rate Alabama's defensive line?
Without Overton, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but still, you got Keenan right there in the middle. I mean, he lined up 0.
Top 20?
Oh yeah. Oh, well, let's say the front 7.
Front 7. So, what other team that you know of that can start 3 freshmen on the offensive line to deal with Alabama's defensive line? 3 freshmen.
Yeah.
3.
That is mind blowing.
If I told you at the beginning of the season that we were going to start 3 freshmen against Alabama's defense on the offensive line, you would be like, I don't even know if I want to watch this game.
Tied by 50.
I do love the motion you saw out of Tolliver after the game.
And without Kyron Jones,
without
Colby Young, without Noah Thomas, without Drew Bobo,
banged up
against that defensive front, I'd be like, fuck it.
Yeah.
And I know when we talk about a lot of people didn't want Georgia to play in this game. When I first saw last week Texas start taking it to Texas A&M, and I'm like, crap, Georgia's going to have to play that SEC championship game without Drew Bobo.
Yep, I've been dreading that all. I
was despondent. Then he found out Jam Miller and LT Overton were out. I'm like, okay, let's play the game.
Okay, it's even now. All right, let's go. I mean, everybody at my work's like, "Hey, Bobo can have my leg. He can borrow my leg for the week."
All right, my overreaction now. What about the lack of a downfield passing game? With the lack of understanding, the lack of the folks that we lack, but there's still no downfield passing game.
I think that was big because with Noah being out, I think that kind of may have took that away.
I mean,
because Noah and Colby were those guys. I mean, Bell can do that, but
maybe we get Noah back. Maybe we don't. Who knows? I don't know what that is, but I'm saying there was no downfield passing game.
I think
that's why no team wants to play us, because I mean we would be even more dangerous. Like if we had a downfield passing too against what we did, like okay, come on, Ohio State, like we go toe for toe.
Colby Young still and Noah together. Oh.
I'm not, but what I'm saying is like I said, we're going to win 3 more games. How do we do it without a downfield passing game?
Who do you think we're going to play? Who do you think we're going to play, though?
Well, the only person that I think that we're going to play is Ohio State.
So you're talking about that's the final?
Yeah. At some point in time.
You could see Ole Miss again. You could see
between now and then, like I said, I don't have a problem with beating, say, Miami without a downfield pass. I would love to beat Carson Beck, but that's my only overreaction is we did not have any kind of crossing routes or downfield passing game, and I think I don't know. I think there was some that may have been there. The pass right before half where he missed Branch so bad, I think was there. I think Branch had broken open, and it was on the third down pass right before half.
Yeah, Colby Young is really working hard. Dash put this on the UGA Sports. He put it on the event that Colby's doing everything possible to get back in time for this, which I credit to him for working so hard to get back in time for the playoffs. It would be very easy for a guy with NFL aspirations to take his rehab as slowly and as carefully as possible, but he's really fighting to get back. Noah Thomas with the back spasms they had today, you got to think hopefully whenever they roll around and play again at the end of the month that he's back. So they can attack downfield with Dylan Bell. Dylan Bell, man, thank God they just fed him tonight. I understand Gunner getting the MVP, but that first half was Dylan Bell's first half. And for a senior, the guy who could have transferred very easily to stick it out and have the night he did.
Yeah, that second touchdown drive was all him, man.
Yeah, I'm building to a point. Some of that came down to we can attack downfield, but they're loading up to stop the run, so we'll just dump it out here. And they're also bringing some pretty good pressures to get after. Remember the first play of the game, they brought everybody. They brought the house. And he tosses it out, picks up 17 yards to the flats. Mike Bobo, if I don't have to attack downfield, and remember, if you miss it, it's a wasted play. So they wanted to stay on schedule and try to pick up 5-6 yards a pop. Most of the time they did. But I think if you get Colby or Noah back, then it does open up some more of that downfield passing attack. And I'm with Amari. They are dangerous like they are now. People can complain about screens all you want.
I appreciate
you
being able
28
to beat
on
Alabama 28-7 without a downfield passing attack.
I'm with Amari. If you have to, so they were not being honest. Now, of course, the threat of quarterback run makes you honest, but the point is, look at how the game changed from the first snap for Georgia against Tennessee.
Okay.
Toss to Colby Young, sideline route. Those safeties, they weren't climbing up. The safeties didn't start crowding the line of scrimmage till the middle of the second quarter. Because they're like, well, that kid can throw, so let's not do that. Parts unknown while we focus on these quarterbacks. What do y'all think about Jared Curtis watching that game?
Jared who?
Jared who?
I hope he has fun getting himself lit up in Vanderbilt's backfield. Yeah. Yeah.
What's he going to do if Pavia gets another year of eligibility? That's what I want to know.
He won't. But he's not going to have a team, so I don't know what. I mean,
I am disappointed about that because evidently he's quite a talent.
Yeah, but 60% of his team is either gone next year or, so I don't know what you're going to do. I mean, that's just a bad recipe in the SEC. I don't care what team you are.
Yeah.
I still around what he feels like about being at Nebraska right now, You
remember Dylan Raiola went to Nebraska. He had his uncle was a coach there, the offensive line coach.
Right.
He got fired today.
There was some family ties. The uncle got fired today.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
But
so how quickly does Dylan Raiola go in the portal? Now here's something interesting. A lot of people thought that there's a different coach. I can't think of his name right now. Was going to go to Florida. So Florida needs an offensive line coach. What happens if Matt Luke winds up as the Florida offensive line coach? I'd be happy.
I'd be happy for Matt Luke.
No, I'd be happy for Georgia because I'm not impressed with Matt Luke. There's a reason Georgia's having to rebuild their offensive line, and his name is Matt Luke. So,
Yep.
Okay.
Shout out to and we got to give Stacey Searle some flowers.
Yes.
As Amari points out, you play with 2 true freshmen and 1 redshirt freshman. The 1 redshirt freshman who was your center looked fantastic. Remember, there were no high snaps last week. Some bad snap.
The last 2 games that he did.
Last 2 games, you're right, against the Charlotte, he did not have it. He looked completely different this week. And those were kids who were –
in the last season, folks were not happy with Searles.
I get it. Hell yeah. Dude, you had 4 guys drafted and your offensive line was a liability.
Mm-hmm.
That does not make you look good as a coach.
Against Notre Dame.
But the point being is all those guys were injured. And then this year, all these guys are injured too. And once you get them healthy, they look phenomenal. They were just dragging people tonight. Like you said, against that very good defensive line, Gunner had time. There were some holes. Georgia ran the ball. But you did it with 2 true freshmen and a redshirt freshman. And I'm going to give Stacey Searle some credit. That was a hell of a job. And
hell yeah.
He's a lot better than Matt Luke. And if Matt Luke wants to go to Florida, good. It's like Georgia fans were so happy when Todd Grantham was down there coaching the Gators. Like, hell yeah, we got this game. Todd Grantham's down there.
Yeah, third and Grantham, man. Yeah.
Let's go.
I did see this week. I saw it was like, oh, Buster Faulkner's leaving Tech. I'm like, yes, all right. Oh, Florida, damn.
Yeah.
Like, damn it.
We can't get away from this son of a bitch.
He's good. I have to give him his due. But Faulkner's freaking the man. He's awesome.
He's good. I won't say he's the MVP of the night, but shout out to Brett Thorson tonight.
Oh, he was booming.
If I'm not mistaken, he had seven punts. Let me see here. Let's see. All-purpose yards. Georgia. Yeah, 7 punts. Guess how many of them were inside the 20?
We'll say 5.
All seven. No.
5.
6. Yeah.
Come on, dude. He had to kick one around
in the end zone.
He did end zone. Hey,
he had one that came down on about the 23 or so.
He could flip it.
Again, that's just that's lights out. I mean,
of course, I listen to all your shows, and I always remember Coach D saying, I wouldn't take any other special teams unit than what Georgia has. Like, I remember Coach Donnan has talked about that all year, how good our special teams is, and there it is.
Yeah. Before the season started, I'm like, all right, Coach, give us your 30,000 view. He's like, we're going to be good on offense. Gunner, he stood on the table early for Gunner. And I'm like, Coach, you're replacing 4 guys on the offensive line. He's like, yeah, but some of those guys started. Some of them played. He stood on the table for Drew Bobo, talked about how great he was. Like Georgia's receivers, he told us there were going to be problems on defense. He said we didn't have a secondary. He was right. Even Daylen Everett. Remember how many slants did he give up for a first down in the first 6 games? Anything short, you just third and 6 or 3rd and 3. We got this. Just throw against number 6 on a slant route, and he give it up. But he's played lights out. But Coach would tell us, we got the best kicker and the best punter in the country. We've got one of the best returners, and Zachariah Branch. Our special teams are going to win us games. And I'm like, okay.
Zachariah brought that one back to our 40. That was a big play.
Yeah, it was. Block punt against Texas. You had the onside kick. I mean, just.
And I kept waiting for Monroe Freeland to forward pass a ball to somebody coming past, but he never did. On one of the early punts. But
I was watching for it. That.
I think I heard a stat though. It was like in the 4th quarter. I don't remember how much time it was. Right before they scored, but it was like Alabama only had 3 snaps on our side of the field.
Yeah.
Three snaps.
Yeah, that was halfway through the third quarter. They said that.
Yeah,
And,
that belt to ass.
Again, this was an absolute ass kicking. Let's give Peyton Woodring some love here. Georgia, and when it comes to, and this was before tonight, which again, there were no field goals tonight, so you don't have to worry about it. But he didn't give them a chance to return any kicks or at least anything worth a damn. He is 15 of 16, so that is 93.8% on the year. That is tops in the SEC. So,
is that field goals?
Field goals.
Wow. Is he 100% on extra points?
Yeah, I don't think he's missed one.
Yeah.
It's been a long time, but
I
mean, 15 of 16 times when you've had a chance to kick a field goal, he's made it. That's nuts.
I think I said it earlier, but I was super pumped to see when they were showing Tolliver on the sidelines how fired up he was. I mean, the pressure he was on this week. Good God, I cannot imagine the pressure he's been on all week. And to play as well as he did, you could see it. It was awesome. It was so good to see. I was so proud for him.
He did. You're right. All right, Drew, I'm going to let you go and bring on South Georgia Dog, if that's okay with you.
Heck yeah, sounds good. I appreciate it, Roddy.
All right, thanks, man. Appreciate anybody from Pike County.
Yeah, let's go. See y'all.
I have a question for South Georgia Dog.
South Georgia Dog is here. Oh, look at that hat. Look at that chapeau.
Right. Have you ever been to DeSoto, Georgia? He didn't hear it.
Sean, can you hear us?
Oh, okay. The
shit,
name is so great. No, I saw me on the screen and I'm like, I thought y'all said another name. Yeah, I'm here. What was the question?
Have you ever been to DeSoto, Georgia?
Have I what?
Have you ever been to DeSoto, Georgia?
Soto, Georgia? No.
DeSoto.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, different
Sean,
guy.
Yeah.
You're not the guy from Americas that was on there.
No, let me bring on South Georgia Dog. I hit the wrong button there.
That's who I was talking
Sean,
about.
I'm going to put you in. I'm going to take you out for just a second. I'm going to bring South Georgia Dog, and then I'm going to bring you back, Sean.
And I
yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right. What happened was I hit one, but when we lost the other guy, everybody moved down. So, all right, South Georgia Dog is here. South Georgia Dog, Willie wants to know if you've ever been to DeSoto.
Yes, that's 10 minutes down the road from me.
I grew up in DeSoto.
No kidding.
No kidding.
The Nut House.
That's my mama and dad. That's my mama and daddy. Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I heard you earlier saying you're from America, and I was like, okay. I went to Southland.
Me too.
Cool. What year did you graduate?
97.
Yeah, I'm just a little bit older than you.
I got you.
Okay.
Cool. Roddy.
Yes, sir.
Roddy. Where did that defense come from?
Fucking find out.
Hey, you asked me, sitting here, just me and you last Saturday night, you asked me, you said, has Dalen Everett regressed? I said, yes. And we were both kind of nodding our heads and, shame on us, I guess.
Ooh, he looked good tonight, baby. Damn, he looked good.
Yeah.
Roddy would tell you, like, when they were playing Tennessee, I was like, man, this defense is who they are. I mean, they are who they are. I don't see them improving. They are who they are. We just gonna have to deal with it. Man, they look night and day.
You're right. Like, so remember, it was something each game, each big game. So Aguilar comes out and he completed his first 17 passes or something, or 14. Yeah. I mean, after that game, they were talking about him for the Heisman Trophy. Even though Georgia won, they're like, well, Joey Aguilar did his job. You're like, wow. Then the next week, Alabama scores all they did, and they go 8 straight third downs. And you're like, okay, this defense is god awful. Then they get Auburn and some other teams, and they win those games. Then another big match, they take on Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss, and Ole Miss has the 5 touchdowns in a row. You're like, that's when, we're talking, hey, this defense looked a little bit better against Auburn, et cetera, but they did not look good. Hell, Jackson Arnold, remember, they were about to go up, 17-0 before they fumbled it, so you're right, South Georgia Dog. There were times where we were looking at this defense and we're like, this is not good, man. This is brutal. And tonight, vertical pressure, edge containment, pressure in the quarterback, knocking down passes, tight coverage, playing man-to-man, like Amari said. Georgia got killed on zone coverage last year. And last year, in this previous match against Alabama, they go man tonight, which can, as Amari points out, can draw some penalties. But hell, half the time they were knocking the ball down and playing all over the place. Didn't miss very many tackles. The only guy they can't seem to tackle is Ryan Williams. He just seems to bounce off people. But other than that, they dropped everybody where they found him. So I'm with you, South Georgia.
Jones had more yards throwing than Ryan Williams had tonight. Now,
yeah, it was mind-boggling where this felt like a Georgia defense.
So the front four to me has been the difference from the first of the year to now.
I agree.
It is the front four has been able to hold their own, so to speak. And when they can rush, when they can blitz, and when they need to not blitz, the front four can still have been getting pressure.
I mean, that's fair.
Depending from the first of the year, it wasn't happening. And I don't know as far as if it's Jonier Aquero or Christian Miller or who's gotten that much better. But I think across the board, they've all gotten a little better, if a lot better.
Got to give a little credit to Elijah Griffin.
Yes.
Growing up,
yeah, no doubt.
Christian
he's
Miller
still not a full-time player, but yes.
Yeah. Christian Miller has been everywhere. Remember in that first scrimmage, people came out of it going, Christian Miller was unblockable today. Oh, okay. And here's the thing. They're doing this without Jordan Hall. So you've got Xavier McLeod coming in there, Josh Fortin, just a revolving door of defensive linemen lining up. But so you have 52-90, Elijah Griffin, Christian Miller, and then mystery man number 3 sometimes. And then your two ends, you talk about your front four, Quintavious Johnson, Gabe Harris, they suck.
Gabe Harris to me is the one that's terrible. Gabe Harris is the one that has made the biggest step forward.
Amen.
I disagree. I think Quintavious
Johnson. I don't know. I had to disagree too. I'll say Quintavious Johnson.
What a wonderful argument to have. Who got better?
Who got better?
So, like last week, we're talking about these guys progressing. We're like, these sons of bitches need to be pulled. Get rid of all of them. Now we're talking. Well, not after last week. Last week they held Tech to 9 points, but there was a point in the season where this secondary got awful. But when you have Quintavious everywhere, Gabe blowing up outside the twists and the stunts they're running now have been fantastic. But I think you're right, Willie. That front four, I don't think we're giving them enough credit. And again, that's without Jordan Hall, your 5-star defensive tackle.
Yeah. Yeah, like him being out. I mean, if he can get back to the playoffs, I don't know what he's got going on, but can he get back to the playoffs? Do you know?
I don't think so. Brandon points out, another guy that's come on really strong, Chris Cole.
Yes, sir.
Yep. He's not on the front four, but he's been solid.
But we're talking about that improvement, because you've always had 3 and 5. You've had Raylan Wilson and CJ Allen doing the stuff that they did, even though CJ missed a game there with the injury. Again, only missed 1. But the fact that you can drop into Chris Cole, it allows you to do so much more because he's really good in coverage, or at least better than those two. It allows you to run some pretty exotic schemes and run some great twists with him coming out. He lines up on the edge, comes through the middle. He lines up in the middle, comes around the edge. Getting pressure on the quarterback. Remember when Georgia was dead last in the SEC in sacks with 8? They'd played 8 games. and the team next to last had like 16. They doubled you up. Then you look like Texas A&M or something like them, and they had like 53 sacks, and you had 8. Like, what the hell?
That's what I'm talking about from the first of the season to now. Is that front four is
that's a good point.
Is making it where the linebackers can get in there and get sacks. Like, N'Kobe Dean was making sacks because he had Jordan Davis in front of him.
Yeah.
Taking 2 men out of the way. And that's more, I think, what's going on, is much going on now. Maybe not quite to that level, but damn, they were pretty good tonight.
Yeah.
And you saw Zayden Walker too?
Yeah. What's his name? Brandon points out Zayden Walker.
Yes.
I want to talk about how fast he is. Did you remember Ty Simpson running to his left, Zayden Walker tracking him down?
And jerking his ass down.
That's a South Georgia boy right there. Ellaville, Georgia.
Yeah.
Just
that
jerked his ass down.
I don't know what it is about you South Georgia guys, the way y'all can run, but Leonard Floyd's still one of the fastest human beings I've ever seen in secondary. I mean, in the open field for a linebacker. Zayden Walker was flying.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked like one of those Top Gun movies when they launched the heat seeker missile or whatever. He just ran him down. It's like, I got him. I was like,
okay.
I almost felt bad for Ty Simpson thinking, is that guy coming for me?
My favorite play of the night was when Alabama had the busted play and Ty Simpson tried to hand it off to who's the back that went to block.
Yeah.
And then Ty Simpson went to the left.
Went to the right side, yeah.
And it slid down. And my wife said, "Why'd he do that?" I said, "Because he's a chicken shit. Crap knocked out of him, man.
He's tired of getting hit."
By Gabe Harris.
Yeah. Now think about it. You've seen Quintavious Johnson. That is a scary dude. Okay.
Yeah.
I covered him at the right in the heart of downtown at one of the games, and saw him play defensive end and quarterback. And then he came over, did an interview, and I'm doing one of those interviews like this where I have to hold the microphone up to him, and he's giant man. I'm like, dude, I hate
you ever say yes to a 16-year-old?
Yeah, I'm like, yes, sir. He's this monster, and you think you got him coming. You see how hard Raylan Wilson hits. You've seen C.J. Allen plant people in the ground like he's trying to grow crops out there, grow little baby quarterbacks or something. Then you got Zayden Walker.
How about when he hit Simpson first quarter?
Again, that's what I'm saying. This kid's got hit by. He's like anybody wearing a white jersey with that G on the side of the helmet. He got rattled. Now, Gunnar Stockton got a helmet to helmet. Did y'all see him wincing?
Yeah.
It doesn't bother him getting hit. Ty Simpson was done. He's like, screw this, man. We're down 21. I ain't taking another hit like that.
Yeah.
Coach, I'm good. They need to block better.
Yeah, but anyhow. I'm going to leave y'all, buddy.
Should that have been a targeting call?
The what?
When Gunnar got his helmet just drilled.
Oh, it should have been targeting, yeah.
They could at least look at it,
Right. Yeah,
Yes, Zayden Walker is a freshman, and it's JWCFB says, will Alabama get in the playoffs? Yes, they will.
Yes.
There's no way. I still think the committee could say, look, because here's the thing, if you were on that committee, Omari, Willie, South Georgia dog, you know that you are going to have to pick Notre Dame or Miami. You know who you want, but you know the other team won the head-to-head. None of them want to make that decision. None of them want to get grilled about that for a whole freaking year. I could see them saying, well, Alabama looked terrible, and then got all these guys hurt. Drop Alabama out. You put in both Miami and Notre Dame, and then you don't have to worry about it.
They already did it to FSU last year, right? So that's why I'm saying the championship game may not be here too much longer. You do it to Alabama, it's over. I feel like.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And I need to look at the dates. I really want to put out a tweet or a story on UGA Sports here is a theoretical schedule for 2026. You play the first game the third week of August. A lot of the kids are back in school by then. And even if they're not in school, you can start playing football before the kids are in school. I get it. Maybe only one bye week instead of two. Get rid of the SEC or the conference championship weekend. You name a regular season conference champion like you do in all the sports, all the other sports. And then you start the playoffs first week of December. 16 teams, no buys, none of that's BS. Sweet 16, you play. Everybody gets, the higher ranked teams get to host on their own campus. It's a great recruiting event for them. And then the first 8 winners go to the bowl games. And you're done by December. You're done by the national championships on January 1st. That's over. Open up the portal so anybody that wants to transfer can do it before they have to be in school the next place. And then signing days in February after you see what you got in the portal or who you added. You sign in February like you used to. And now you're on the same the football schedule is on the same academic schedule.
But who would have won the SEC this year under that?
Alabama.
Yeah. So
they'd had the tiebreaker. Yeah, I mean it would suck. You wouldn't have had tonight's game, and you wouldn't have had this celebration. But
I understand that when it goes to 16, the conference championship games are gone.
I agree.
And if they knock Alabama out, the conference championship games are gone.
Does Alabama even fall, or do they stay at 9?
It's going to be interesting to see, isn't it?
Good question.
I'm just saying. Do you put them against Tulane? I don't know. Do they even fall?
Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that.
They won't. I was explaining Bama privilege to my nephew tonight during the game. Hey, I was telling a buddy about it. I was like, "This is great. I love it. It feels great." Like Roddy, you said earlier, this is a new era, and I think you're right. I think that monkey's finally off our back, but
it is.
We probably get punished for it by having to play them again somehow.
Bring them on. But you're right. Yeah, it would be the most Georgia thing of all time to have to face them again, and
exactly.
And Gunnar Stockton will get killed on the third play of scrimmage. It'll be a Jacob Eason thing. Eighth play. Yeah.
Gunnar will get an ingrown toenail or something.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
All right, Willie, I'm gonna have to let you go, brother.
Yeah, I'm ready to go, buddy. Thank you for so much.
Sean Sports, historian, and Heath Fox lined up here. So, Willie, thanks for being a part of it.
Appreciate you. Take care.
Yeah. All right, now we got Sean Sports Cards on there. Sean, sorry we brought you on earlier and had to kick you off, but apparently Willie in South Georgia had to have a damn family reunion. These inbred cousins down in South Georgia.
Sorry.
Yeah. You know about the corner store on 12th Street? They used to sell them yams. Yeah. I grew up around the corner. Yeah, guys. Glad to be on, man. And back-to-back SEC champions. I mean, man, just let that sink in. A lot of people didn't think we would be here, especially in this fashion. Winning the game in all 3 phases.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys have really stepped up. We know football. Actually, all sports, throughout the season, you grow, you just get better, more detailed. And we've seen that, and it's been dramatic. It's got to be scary for anybody on the opposite side of the field. I mean, these guys, especially on defense, special teams, and I mean, you see how we all know the games are always won in the trenches. And man, these guys are getting to them, man. They're not wasting any time. Really excited about where we are right now. Kirby's got these boys, ready to roll, man. These I don't know what he said to these guys the last few weeks, but he's getting through to them, and I'm just really excited to be a Dog fan and to get over that hump with Alabama. I mean, man, it just feels good, especially in the fashion that we did. Paulie letting them score. I really think them going for it. What it was only the 12, 15 yard line going for it with like over 8 minutes left, and even the announcer's like, yeah, this is the right call. And I'm over here like, bruh, y'all have enough time to score a couple touchdowns. Like, y'all should really punt the ball right now. Y'all aren't really making that many conversions. Like I was happy that they made that call, but that call was crazy. Like, it made no sense to me. Like, and I think, Alabama was really, really missing Saban at points of the game like that. Like, and it makes us cheer that he's no longer there, because he would have never made that call, in my opinion. Like, to me, they had way enough time, to score a couple scores, punt the ball off, get a 3 and out. And I'm so glad they didn't. But I think that was just a real bad mistake by them. But one mistake by Kirby, I think, was at the first half. 4th and 8, you're past the 50. I would have liked to see him go for it. I mean, we won regardless. But man, if we would have went for it right there, I think that would have been a statement. I'm pretty sure we would have got it. But either way, I'm glad for the win. I'm glad at the way that we won. Our path to the national championship. I don't want to talk too soon, jinx anything, but man, it's looking sweet right now. It's feeling like 2021, where we didn't really expect to be in the conversation, at the first to the first half of the season, and then we're there, and things are just rolling, and everything's clicking. But man, it's starting to feel like that. What do y'all think?
Amar, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say the 4th and 8. I don't think Kirby wanted to give him any kind. None. Just punt it. My defense can shut you down. So guess what? Like, you're not going to go nowhere.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't a big thing. It was just like, I think there was like a minute, a little bit less than a minute, maybe 40 seconds left on the clock. I'm not mad at it. Mm-hmm. I just think it would have been like, how when we fake punted it to him last week, and it was like what we got a touchdown, we did an onside kick and got it. That aggressiveness, and how good special teams have been. I just felt like we've been rolling so great. I would have just liked to seen it, but I'm not mad at it. Yeah. I understand it, definitely.
Sean, have you watched Kirby Smart?
Oh, yeah.
When Kirby Smart's defense is clicking on all cylinders like that, he goes uber conservative, man, even in a game like this. And this is the game where he makes un-Kirby-like decisions. So I'm with you. And we actually thought about it. I turned to Coach Don, and I'm like, do they go for it here? He's like, no. And remember, that's also his mentor. So if you can ask Coach Donna and you kind of get an insight into what Kirby's doing, he's like, look, when the defense is playing that good, they can't block us. We've got them in coverage. And again, I'm with you. They don't want a repeat of last time when Alabama had the ball for 35 minutes to Georgia's 25. They ran 24 more plays than Georgia did. This time it was the opposite. So I'm with you. And that's why Kirby went for it on 4th down. The other time is extend the drive. Let's keep going. I think he went for it on 4th down a couple times, but you're right. Just keep it. But 4th and 8, it's like, okay, we're fine. We're in check. I moved my pawn to E5. You moved yours to E5. We're head to head. I think my defense can hold out. and it worked out for him. But I'm with you that being overly aggressive, which we saw with Alabama on their end of the end zone, going for it on 4th and 2, and the overthrow was like, that was a dagger. Game was over. I started putting out a tweet going, congratulations, the Georgia Bulldogs with 8 minutes left. And then, of course, a few plays later, they punch it in. Now they're up 28. So it's a big thing. Pickless Cage, who's always been a big sponsor of our show, he says, I understand this is one game, but do you feel like it's the passing of the baton moment between these two teams? I don't want to read too much into this game because Alabama is going to be a good team, but I think this was the moment, and Amari kind of mentioned it, getting the monkey off your back. Remember when Kirby lost a couple games to Florida? I mean, he doesn't have the same record against Florida that he does Tennessee, Auburn, and Georgia Tech, where he just has demolished them for 8-9 times in a row. There's a couple times where Florida got up there, but especially in his first couple seasons, Florida beat him, So once he got past them, now he's won 5 in a row. And now they're just another team. It's not the Florida that's had the stranglehold on the Georgia Bulldogs like they did for the 90s and 2000s and such. This is that turning of the ship. Like, yeah, you might lose to them again, but Alabama will never hold that same spot in Georgia's psyche that they used to. Saban's gone. There's a lot more parity. And these players, I wrote in my column, you and I and Omari, we've got something in our head about Alabama. These players don't. They know they should have won back in September. They were looking forward to this. They were psyched up. They wanted to go out there and knock their damn heads off. And you saw that from the first snap. So I think, Pickless Cage, this is I'm not saying you won't see Georgia reel off 10 in a row. It'll be this, just like Florida, stop the series, stop the slide. Then at some point we'll say Georgia is now 3 of 3 in their last 6 meetings with Alabama. Then it'll be Georgia's has won 6 out of the last 10. They're 6-4 against Alabama. So this is the decisive. They don't occupy any room in your brain anymore like they used to. So that's my take on it.
Right. I would just like to say, first off, I think it's like my 3rd time on here, and I would just like to say, I like hearing you on 92.9 The Game every week. I live in Augusta, but I listen to the Odyssey app, and I really enjoy your perspective and your knowledge. I just want to ask, jog my memory, what was the rushing total for Alabama tonight?
-3 yards.
Oh my God!
I can tell you that.
Look at him already.
Oh my God! That's all that needs to be said. I mean,
Lamar looks like he just had a baby. He's grinning. Look at the fatherly pride. He's like, hell yeah, -3.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. You know what? Yeah, that's all that needs to be said. I mean, -3 yards.
My friends tomorrow, I'm gonna be like -3 yards.
I might get that tatted tomorrow. I don't even know.
Hey, can we get everybody to do a super chat? We'll get a billboard in Tuscaloosa. Just put up -3 on it.
Yeah.
It's a big -3. If who was it that came and put up a billboard about getting Tyler Atkinson out of Grayson?
Oh, I heard that. Yeah. Texas.
Oh, was it Texas or?
Yeah. Supposedly.
Yeah.
If it's true.
The University of Texas put up a billboard in pretty close to Athens. Very excited that they signed a kid, one of the best players in the state, out of Grayson High School. And I'm like, yeah, but you're 0-3 against Georgia. Congratulations, Texas Longhorns. I'm like, if we want to put up a billboard right there in Tuscaloosa, just put up -3. And here's the thing, they know what the hell it means.
Hey, it'll be like the new 6-7. It'll be like the new 6-7. Just everything that they do or say, just -3, -3. What's your favorite number? -3.
-3. Yeah, I'm with you.
Is that the worst rushing for the whole season?
I mean, it's got to be if it's not.
That'd be like the worst in history.
Yes. I mean, God.
This is the Mark Ingram program. Say somebody reach out there to I can't think of his name. Giant running back. The big guy that was committed to Georgia for so long. Derrick Henry. Somebody reach out. Somebody check Derrick Henry's Twitter feed, see what he's got to say. Don't get me wrong.
Man,
I love those guys.
I mean, I didn't know that their starting running backs was going to be out tonight until I guess the pregame. They had said both of their top two guys were out.
They had rushing yards. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Sean.
No, you're
Georgia
good.
has more interceptions than they had rushing yards.
Hey, that's a good interruption,
Sorry,
but yeah, I mean, when they were saying what their top two rushing guys was out in pregame, I was like, I didn't know that beforehand, but I was like, yeah, these guys are in trouble because we can run the ball, especially of late. And man, I had no clue. I had no clue. I don't think anybody, thought it would go that way. I mean, that's just crazy. But yeah, definitely celebrating it. Glad to be a Georgia fan tonight, and man. Glad to be celebrating with y'all guys, man.
I appreciate it, Sean. Thank you so much. It is as famous Eric Russell said, it's great to be a Bulldog on Saturday night. And you pointed out Georgia winning back-to-back SEC titles. We didn't think we would be here. That's the second time Georgia has backdoored its way into the SEC title. Last year, they weren't supposed to be there. They got in. They won it. This year, you had to either Alabama or Texas A&M had to lose. Texas A&M lost. You got there, and you won it. And
the year before, man, we should have been in the playoffs.
We should have been.
I was beat.
Don't get me started on that. I'm having a good time, Sean. Don't get me mad. I will start.
That's why I said, what did they do to Alabama?
We will get demonetized on this thing, and I'll start cussing. What the hell, Don? Good to be a fog. Dog 85? How much have you had to drink, brother?
I'm drinking some sweet tea out of a shot glass, y'all.
Yeah, I'm sure that's sweet tea, baby. I'm sure that's sweet tea. William Carlin gives us super chat $5 -3. Thank you, William. I appreciate it. All right, Sean, I'm going to let you go and bring on. We got historian Heath Fox, Ben Bachman, South Georgia Dog, who somehow got screwed up there, and Anthony Spano. So we got a bunch of folks to get through. So, Sean, I'm going to let you go, Habibi.
Yes, sir. Go Dogs.
See ya, man. All right, let's let Sean out. Before I add anybody on here real quick, I do need to mention our friends at Benton and Benton. If you are injured, be smart. Call Bart. He has recovered, just last year, he recovered $58 million for injured people. There is not a brighter guy that you will ever meet in a courtroom or in the legal field than Bart Benton of Benton and Benton. They're in Monroe, which is really growing up, by the way. He's a University of Georgia graduate. He's a giant University of Georgia fan. He is a brilliant lawyer, and he is a true bulldog, i.e. meaning if you've been injured, you've been hurt, he will jump on to the people that hurt you like a bull. Remember, bulldogs are named after the fact that they would grab a hold of a bull by the snout and not let go. No matter how many times they got beat on the ground, they were designed for that. He is a true old-fashioned bulldog, and he gets results. Our own Paul Meharry had an issue. He called Bart Benton. They went to high school together. They know each other. Bart took care of him. He will take care of you like you went to high school together. And if you call him up and say, hey, I'm a Georgia fan, he's going to fight even harder for you. So if you need any legal representation, any legal help, call Bart Benton at Benton and Benton. If you're injured, be smart, call Bart. So, and shout out to him for sponsoring our show. It means a lot to us, and we appreciate it very much. All right, we're going to bring on the historian and Heath Fox. So, historian, you get to go first, baby. You give us your thoughts.
I got to break out. I got to break out the Georgia starter jacket tonight. First off, because it's a classic night. So outside of breaking out the jacket tonight, you know, like Deion Sanders quoted a long time ago. Alabama said this is Brian Denny East. No. Here's a little something for you.
I got one thing to say. This is my house. I built this, and this is my house.
As I said, this is Kirby Smart's house. Nick Saban no longer resides here. Pretty much, we took the deed of the house when we kicked his ass in the national championship. Pretty much. This is our house now. 2 straight SEC championship games. The defense just pretty, I'll say this. This was, to quote the late, great Tommy Brooks, former boxing trainer, for you fight fans out there, you know who he is. Tommy Brooks managed Evander Holyfield at one point, said when Mike Tyson got his ass whooped by Lennox Lewis, this was a vicious ass whooping that grandma's Lysol couldn't wash out. This is how bad this was. And I'm okay with it because the defense grew up. And I said to Mr. Tolliver, you got to give him credit tonight because, again, a couple of plays, he looked a little shaky, but guess what? Just like a prize fighter, he gets hit a few times in the face. Okay. Tim Keenan, he slowed him down tonight. Tim got off early, but if you pay attention in the later stages of this game, he slowed him down. So now that you've taken out the big bad bully at this point, when you talk about Tim Keenan on that defense, now who do you fear? Because that was the best defensive tackle in the conference that you just neutralized. Really, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I hate Alabama, but the kid is pretty much the best D tackle in the country. Phenomenal. Period. He's the best D tackle in the country. And I gotta give it to the running game. We kept the game plan simple and just stuck with it. We didn't have to do anything exotic. We didn't really, let's be honest. How many deep shots did we really take in this ball game against this defense?
Shit, Amari, did they take any?
I don't think they did. I'm trying to think of one.
They took two deep shots. Everything else was slants and screenplays in this game and end arounds.
Historian, remind me. I don't remember the deep shots. I'm not doubting you.
There was one with Zach Branch where he was down the field, and that was when we got the big
he stopped. He didn't run the flag.
Yeah,
he ran out and stopped.
Yeah.
Yep. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
And then we got it. I know you got Benton as your sponsor. We need to go ahead and nickname Jones and Elias Williams, Williams and Jones, DBs Incorporated. They locking up receivers right now. So you better get Benton to get these next receivers that we gonna see in the playoffs some help. Because I'm just gonna be honest with you, those boys there, you might as well say they're getting ready to have some police brutality towards the next receivers that come their way. So it is what it is. But I wasn't gonna stay in long. I had to jump in, getting ready to head out, celebrate a little bit, man. This was just a good old-fashioned ass whipping we gave them. And anybody else that lines up in front of us, beware that we're playing all 4 quarters now. These guys have grown up, and I'm just gonna say it now. I'm bold enough to say it on your show. I think we're the best team in college football because we've been the most tested, and we've been in situations where we've had to fight. Ohio State doesn't know what that's like. Indiana doesn't know what that's like. Texas Tech doesn't know what that's like, and neither does Oregon. So at this point, I like our chances to run these guys down and win a natty this year. I appreciate you having me on, Roddy, Omari, and what's your name? I didn't catch you, my guy.
Heath.
Hey. Thank y'all for having me on. And y'all hit that like and subscribe button for this man here. He works his ass off. And there's too many of y'all in this chat, and you guys are not hitting that like button. Hit the like button for my guy, Roddy. Thank y'all for having me, Roddy.
Thank you, historian. Appreciate it, man. Hey, and y'all check out his Falcons show. If you're an Atlanta Falcons fan, you need to check out the historian's Birdcage show. They do a great job breaking down the Falcons. I am not that much of a glutton for punishment. I'm a dyed-in-the-wool Georgia fan. I grew up going over to Flowery Branch when Jeff Van Note was there. White Shoes was there, and Steve Bartkowski. So I'm dating myself here, but you want to actually a good break, if you're a Falcons fan, you need to check out his show as well. So, all right, Heath, let's get your take on it, and then we'll add. We got Ben, Anthony, and South Georgia Dog coming back here. But go ahead and Heath, give us your thoughts.
Well, it kind of
You
felt.
got to dip in.
Absolutely. It calms me down, Roddy. It calms me. I'm on this high, and I've got to calm down a little bit, all right?
Enjoy the high.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I'm still jittery. It kind of gave me flashbacks, though. It kind of felt like Jalen Carter was out there. It kind of felt like Nakobe Dean was out there. It kind of felt like Kamari Lassiter was out there. The pass rush was top-notch. It's probably the best pass rush we've had all year in any game that we played, in my opinion. I loved the play calls. I loved being gutsy. I wish we would have not been so conservative going forward on fourth and 1, and then we had to punt it with a minute left to go right there before half. I wish we'd have been a little more aggressive right there to get maybe a field goal even. If you're going to go for it on 4th and 1, why not try to be more aggressive to, try to at least get a field goal out of it? But
what is the deal with their end of the half offense?
Yeah,
2 weeks in a row, I'm like,
yeah.
Did you lose your playbook or what the shit?
Right, but overall, no, you're good. You're good. Overall, it just felt good. It felt like kind of what historians said. It just right now, I wouldn't want to play Georgia. Right, if I was any other team, I would not want to play Georgia. They're the hottest team, coming off the win off Texas. It looked sloppy versus Georgia Tech, but they picked themselves back up with this game. It started off with the punt that got blocked, then the interception, and then we pinned them back. Man, I heard one of them. I don't know if it was Kirk that said it, but they ran 3 plays past the 50 with like 4 minutes to go in the third.
Yeah,
it was plays.
Nuts. Okay, Heath, how old are you?
25.
25. Okay, might be a little bit before your time. Mario might remember this, but he only looks like he's 26, so maybe he doesn't. I'm in the stadium with the University of Georgia Bulldogs under Mark Richt. They're playing Arkansas. Georgia hadn't been in that SEC championship game in forever. It's always been Tennessee or Florida. Whoever won that game wound up representing the East. Remember, this was the East versus the West. And Georgia's out there versus Arkansas, and early on, there's a punt attempt, and it is blocked. And the route was on. If you're in the comment section, you remember that.
Was that 2002?
I remember it.
2002.
Yeah.
Remember, because every coach who's going to be of any significance always has a crazy year 2. So, crazy game. And the minute they blocked that punt, I wanted to say, just like Arkansas, here it comes. But because it's Alabama, I was scared to jinx the whole thing. Yeah. But it's funny. It's exactly what happened. That changed I think that I'll give that play the straw that broke the camel's back, the thread that was pulled, they got rid of, the sweater unraveled that was covering Georgia's eyes when it comes to the mental block they have against Alabama. That play is like, I don't say they all relaxed, but they're like, oh, we got them. Mm-hmm. And boom, you're up 7-0. Remember, Georgia has not started fast all year. It feels that way. They go into halftime up 14-0. Then, okay, here comes Alabama. They're getting the ball first. They're going to throw their best shot at you. They went nowhere. Georgia backed them up with pressure. They go 3 and out. Georgia gets the ball again, changes up the field. Alabama gets the ball again, 3 and out. It's like, you've got nothing. We took your best shot. We can kick your ass on offense, defense, and special teams. So I'm with you, man. It was just completely different. And I didn't want to say it at the time that this is going to be like Arkansas with that blocked punt, but I'll be damned if it didn't change it. So
nobody was offsides.
Quote of the night.
And I think Chris Fowler actually called it when that happened. He was talking and he said, in the SEC championship game, special teams and punt return changes the game. And he said, right on cue when they blocked it. He said, right on cue. Here we go. This is what's going to change this game. And I think we punted it our first drive, and I was like, man, we needed a fast start. I wanted them to come out and freaking punch them in the mouth and go up 7-0. But our defense, it just felt very different. Our defense absolutely shut them out. Y'all said negative. Y'all said it. I've heard y'all say it. -3. That's the new favorite number. That's the new favorite number. But obviously with Jam Miller being out, that showed how much that hurt. I mean, but because I think Jam is a great player, even though he plays for a terrible team.
Oh, he's really good.
He's a phenomenal player, and that's a big loss for them. But we also had injuries too. We had Bobo out. We have Colby Young out. One of our top wide
played
receivers.
without Noah Thomas.
No, no Thomas. So, we both have injuries.
Isn't their freshman running back was like number 2?
Yeah,
like he was pretty high up there.
Yeah, he was the number 2 in the recruiting class in 2025.
And honestly, I was petrified. I was like, okay, well, their top 2 backs are out. Kevin Riley's got the broken jaw. And y'all indulge me when we break news. I always want to point it out because we do run a business. And when we have breaking news and we break the news, I want to point that out there so people who are not members will become members to get that breaking news. On Monday, I told everybody because I spoke to someone at Alabama. He's like, dude, I can't put this out, but I will tell you, Jam Miller is out of the game. He's like, I'm going to sit on this for a couple of days, but you go nuts. And so when I did my show on Monday night with Jed, Rumors versus Facts, I told everybody, hey, breaking news, Jam Miller's out for this game. And remember, he was listed as questionable, and everything that came out. We're like, no, he is out. Josh Cuevas is also out. And so shout out to our sources at Alabama. But the point being, that guy is really, really talented. And when Georgia's without Drew Bobo, I was petrified of them, how Georgia would face. Again, looking at Tim Keegan, one of the best as historians said, one of the best defensive tackles in the country. And the dude is like a Buick. He comes through the line. He just mows down people. And Brandon Tolliver, for the most part, held his own. Now, a lot of times he lined up over guard too, so he's a stress. But the fact that you played, like you said, without Colby Young, without Kyron Jones, without Drew Bobo, without Noah Thomas, and you had to have Juan Gaston out there, Dontrell Glover, and Malachi Tolliver, he's not a freshman, he's a redshirt freshman. But that guy was on a short leash because you noticed that when they were warming up, they also warmed up Cortez Smith, another true freshman. That is the future at the center spot. Now, Malachi might be the guy, but just like you knew that Cedric Van Pran was the guy and that Jared Wilson would be his backup and he would do really well, Malachi Tolliver might be the guy in the future, but Cortez Smith is going to be on his heels because he is of the caliber offensive lineman as Juan Gaston, as Dontrell Glover. So Georgia has the possibility of returning Monroe Freeling, Dontrell Glover, Drew Bobo, thanks to the injury, Juan Gaston, and maybe even Ernest Green. Now, if I'm Ernest Green, I'm thinking about maybe going, but you've had so many back issues. The NFL might not take a chance on him. You could return those 5 starters in the offensive line. You only lose Micah Morris. You return your quarterback. You return your top 2 running backs. Oscar Delp leaves. You might return Lawson Lucky and then have Elias Williams and Ethan Barbour at tight end and Jaden Riddell. Then now all you got to worry about is who's your wide receivers going to be. On defense, we're talking about all these guys who just shut down Alabama to -3 yards. How many upperclassmen are over there besides Christian Miller? Your edge guys are underclassmen. They're not going anywhere. No. Your guys in the secondary, I mean, you're going to lose Dalen Everett, but you've got, as historians say, you got the law firm of DeMello Jones and Elias Williams. I mean, the other Williams. This is a KJ Bolden comes back. Maybe you get somebody better in the secondary there. You're going to have Todd Robinson come in. This you lose CJ Allen and Raylan Wilson, but if you got Chris Cole and Justin Williams and Zayden Walker and Chris Jones working your inside linebackers, they could be better next year than they are right now, and they're going to be the number 2 team in the country by tomorrow night.
Absolutely.
Do you think they pay Zachariah Branch to stay?
Here's the thing. So Zachariah Branch, he'll be one of the first guys that they put in an NFL draft grade on. Okay. And I'm going to bring on Ben because he's seen this before. Ben Bachman joining us here real quick. What they do is they can't do it for everybody. The NFL gives you like 5 or 6 tickets, if you will. And they say, okay, use them as you want. And they'll put in a request for a draft grade on 5 or 6 guys. And what the NFL does, a lot of people think that the NFL tells you where you're going to be drafted. They don't do that. They basically tell you if you are a first round or second or third round possibility. They won't tell you your 4th, 5th, or 6th or whatever. So basically you get a draft grade or a non-draft grade. And if I'm looking at Zach Branch, there's the possibility. Everyone thinks he could go really high, but he is so little. Mm-hmm. It is tough for a guy that size. I don't say it's tough to make it, but if you can get a hand on him, you can tackle him. The defenses in the NFL are so fast. It's tough. I mean, it works for the Tyreek Hills of the world, It works for, the really fast guys. But if Zach Branch looks at it and goes, I'm not a first, second, third round pick, I could come back to Georgia, as Amari says, and maybe be second, third highest paid guy on the team.
Well, Roddy, I think the issue with Zachariah Branch more so than the size is actually how many shots do they take deep downfield to him? They haven't. Like, if you're saying, hey, play action, here's a 30-yard shot downfield, he's more of a guy who's getting his explosive through the screen game in comparison to that, where I think if he was getting explosives downfield, I think that would help him a lot more. And I think that's more concerning is how big is his route tree. Because at USC, one of the knocks, Roddy, that we saw when Georgia got him as a transfer was look at how many routes he ran. Even though it was a Lincoln Riley offense, he only had him run like 2 or 3 routes. This year's expanded that, but how much and how much of a sample size? That's going to be the thing that I think worries scouts even more so than size, because we've seen some gadget players. Like Mecole Hardman, I'll be honest, his production was not there at Georgia. And he only played wide receiver for 2 years in his career. He went in the second round. So I think Zachariah Branch will go at least by the second round because of that. And I've seen, I think like Mel.
I'm hoping so.
I don't think he goes late first. I think he goes second round, but I think the knock is how big of a route tree does he have? Because if he's a guy that you can take shots to downfield and you trust him down there, a couple big playoff games and he could play his way into a first round if he shows that. The size is.
No, he's never a first round guy. No, that ain't gonna happen. Second, third, I can definitely see, but not a first round guy.
Here's my overreaction. Since we're talking about wide receivers, I think Zachariah Branch comes back, and I think since this is overreaction, I think Cam Coleman. I think Georgia goes after Cam Coleman in the portal. I don't think Cam Coleman stays with Auburn.
Is that more than $2 million?
I don't know, but hey, you just got a lot more money with Jared Curtis decommitting.
So here's the deal.
Smart. They just gained money. And Roddy, you talked about it. They get receivers and maybe an edge rusher or two. You can't tell me Georgia's not the favorites next year with what we already know is returning. I would just go all in on next year. Honestly, it's one of your lowest ranked recruiting classes. I think they finished like 7th. Just go all in next year on the portal. Have your best portal class with your most returners. You can buy a championship next year if you have a good portal class. You could.
They're going to sign about 20 kids out of the portal, and they're going to lose like 20 kids. There's going to be like a line change in hockey. These guys go out, these guys come in. That's going to be a big difference there. And my point about Zach Branch coming back, and Colby Young could put in for a medical. I don't know that he'll get it, because he played so much, but there's maybe an outside shot that, they give him a year. Of course, Noah Thomas is a senior. He moves on. But with Zach Branch going, if I don't get the grade I like, there is it's what Carson Beck's doing. Carson Beck could have gone drafted, but he's like, hell, I can go to Miami and make $4 million. Right. Cam Coleman, the asking price, he's not in the portal yet, but we know some people. And Cam Coleman is going to request his agent, his entourage, the people around him. They're going to say, hey, he's worth $2 million. Georgia's going to look at that and say, well, dude, we'd love to have you, but no thanks.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I guarantee you Texas A&M will be like, okay, we got you.
Yeah.
So somebody will get it, to your point.
Or LSU.
Yeah, dude. Remember, that's one of the reasons Lane took the job was because of the war chest that they rolled behind it.
Yep.
So
Lane's also a portal guy. He'll pay for portal players more than he'll pay for high school players.
I like Zach Branch is pretty close to tying the. I kind of don't want him to get the record.
Wait, which record?
The single season receptions record of the University of Georgia.
Is it because he's a transfer? He's like a one-year guy?
No, it's just because the guy he would take it away from was Bryce Hunter, one of my favorite players of all time, who passed away way too young, And my first ever viral photo was of Bryce Hunter. And so, don't get me wrong, I'll be happy when he breaks it, but at the same time, I'm like, man, that's Bryce's. That dude was an absolute warrior.
He could get negative yards and break the record. with how they scheme for him.
I do. But anyway, this offense could be nasty, and this defense could be nasty. And the question is, what do you do with special teams? Because Brett Thorson can't come back for another year.
Yeah.
Don't they have Drew Miller?
They do. They do indeed.
Yeah, I mean, Drew Miller's your next punter. I thought, there was a game earlier in the year, Roddy, where I don't know if it was Texas, but it might have been Texas, where Thorson, it was terrible. Today he was awesome, though.
No, dude, he was fine against Texas, but everyone thinks they think he had 2 shank punts. Those were on purpose. You do not kick to Josh Nesbitt or Niblett. The guy already has 2 punt returns for a touchdown, so you do not punt to him. So he wasn't having bad punts. He was told, don't kick it to him. So the goal was to try to punt it as high and short as possible so that Georgia could get under and keep Niblett from returning the punts. So today he had 7 punts, put 5 of them inside the 20. Just mind-boggling. I mean, nobody will give him the MVP, but that's still pretty damn impressive.
Yep.
Let's see. He averaged 45.3 yards a punt. One of them was 59 yards. So that's just a freaking weapon.
When he went down last year, that broke my heart. I was like, man,
that's why I don't like playing in the SEC championship game. You lost your number 1 punter in the nation, and you lost your quarterback. So
yeah.
I will say this though, Roddy. I think Georgia could have won today's game by more. The offensive line penalty.
Oh yeah.
Awful.
They left points on the field.
We both know Pennhurst, Roddy. Me and him were talking, and I'm like, if it wasn't for some of these procedural penalties, or like, perfect example, Glover had the hands to the face when I think it was London Humphreys got like a 20-yard gain. I'm like, anytime the first drive of the game, Branch gets that screen for like 20 yards to start the game. You run it, it's 2nd and 7. Bell gets a holding call when he was cooked either way.
I didn't need to.
You're just getting 1 yard on that play. If you don't hold, like at that point, you're dead. They already have the corner. They already have a Bama defender on the edge ready to tackle him, even if he doesn't seal that. Like, those penalties cost you so many points, where it's like there's like 4 drives where it's like if you just don't get penalties, stupid penalties, you're scoring more points, at least 4 field goals or a touchdown or 2, because you had momentum and then penalty, and it killed everything. I feel like that killed like all the offensive drives for penalties.
I need to go back and look at the number of drives that ended or were put out of reach due to a penalty. Because, like I said, when Georgia faced Alabama earlier this year, it was Georgia's worst penalty outing of the season. Georgia is the least penalized team in the SEC. Alabama is like 4th or 5th. They get a lot of penalties. And They only had one penalty when they came to Athens. Georgia had its worst outing. Today, they only had one, and it's like a 5-yarder. So they played penalty free, but Georgia had its worst number and yardage of penalties the entire year. 80 yards worth of penalties. And you're right. If Georgia could have gotten out of Georgia's way, they might have scored 35, 42 points. I mean, there's a couple touchdowns they left off the board, at least a couple field goals. So you score 28. I mean, now we're talking, 34, because you shot yourselves in the foot. Stupid holding penalties. And again, you gifted them a touch. You could have had a shutout.
Yeah.
Right.
But DeMello Jones has to slap a guy who headbutts him. They never get the first guy. You know that. And just some stupid ass penalties on that drive. Georgia gifted them 7 points. And imagine, you want to talk about Amari, you were talking about keeping them out of the playoffs. 28-0.
DeMello Jones.
But Kirby would have. Kirby would have went super conservative. Like
true, very true.
Super.
But again,
like it would have been run.
But that's fine if they don't score.
Yeah.
Even if it's 17-0, that 0 gives the committee ample opportunity to say, yeah, no, yeah. Hey,
the last time Alabama was shut out?
Because you go from 9 to 13.
Roddy, I know Georgia doesn't think this way, but I would rather see Bama in the playoff if I'm Georgia than Notre Dame. Notre Dame,
you're breaking up really bad. I can't hear you, Habibi.
Oh, I said that Notre Dame, they do not want them in there. I don't think Georgia would want Notre Dame in.
They don't want Miami in there.
I think that'd be incredible for ratings to see Beck versus Gunn.
It would be great for ratings, but that is the more dangerous team between the two.
If you're TV, that's the game you want, though.
Oh, I do. Trust me. They know stuff like that. They'll make it happen. My point is, if you look at what Miami has, I'd much rather face Notre Dame. A rematch against Notre Dame, bring it on. Think versus playing a Miami team. Again, and we're splitting hairs here, but Georgia matches up much better against Notre Dame than they do Miami. So,
if they did a home playoff game, Georgia versus Miami, if they said, you know what, the second round home, I want to see that reaction to when Beck steps on the field. That would have been, I don't know, it would have been top 5 in history, Georgia football, seeing Carson Beck going to Sanford in a playoff game.
It's the same as next year at Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna say that they're gonna send everybody. Georgia plays Vandy,
and that goes back to my question, because this is so confusing for me, and maybe you three can explain this for me. With Duke and Virginia in the ACC championship, how is Miami still even in conversation? It just, to me, it don't make sense. I mean, to me, you put Virginia in over Miami, right?
If Virginia wins, they're in the playoff.
Right. So how is Miami out of the ACC championship and still in conversation?
Because there's still one spot left. Remember, you got the at-larges. So it comes down to Virginia gets in, you still got one spot. The next two teams up are Miami and Notre Dame. Miami beat Notre Dame, and you're like, of course, TV loves having Notre Dame in there, but head-to-head, Miami won. So
now is BYU
of course,
completely?
The ACC is going to be like, look, you shut us out a few years ago. You owe us,
one. So does that mean BYU is completely out? Does that mean BYU's?
They were out before the day. They had to win to get in. Like, they were already out, so they're cooked. Like, the question is, I think it was someone on ESPN posed, like, BYU's still between Notre Dame and Miami. If you're not going to knock Bama a spot, can you even knock BYU a spot? That's a question. That's going to be interesting, because then technically you can't knock BYU down a spot. But at the same time, Miami deserves to go in over Notre Dame. They played head-to-head with the same record, and the schedule is within one ranking of each other. There's no argument to put Notre Dame over. Yes, they're a better team. I think Notre Dame's a better team than Miami. I think majority of people think that. But Miami deserves to go in over them. They beat them on the field. That has to count.
Yeah. Yep.
How bad, I just turned over to that the second half of the Duke Virginia game just started. There ain't nobody in the stands. Do you remember when I think it was Georgia Tech? They played that the first ACC championship game. It was like pouring snow in Charlotte or wherever, and they blacked out or they put tarps up over the entire second the deck to cover up how empty the stadium was. Nobody cares to go about the ACC championship game. But I went by the stadium first this morning before I came up to Athens to do the watch along with Coach Johnson. There were people lined up at 12 o'clock. Game's at 4. There are people lined up at 12 o'clock waiting to get in. It's cold as hell in Atlanta this morning. And there were people lined up waiting to get into it. And they can't even sell out the ACC championship game between two garbage teams. So
they have a 5-loss team in the ACC title.
Duke's winning. They're up 14-7. Nobody in the ACC deserves to be in the playoffs at all.
Absolutely
not. I don't care if they're
if Duke wins, Roddy, I think what's going to
they're garbage. They're all garbage. Screw them.
If Duke wins, they're going to put two group of fives in the field. They're going to put JMU. Was it Tulane one? They're going to put Tulane and JMU in the playoff.
How can you say they're the best? Two of the best 12 teams.
I'm with you, Habibi. They're not. Virginia 10-2, Duke 7-5. If Duke wins this, then nobody.
Which makes me think they're going to make Notre Dame join a conference next year. I mean, I personally think Notre Dame should be in a conference. They're in a conference in every other sport. They absolutely should be in the ACC. Absolutely. So
as long as the money lined up, like there's no reason not to go to the ACC. Plus, they can win that thing with ease every year.
And I heard Roddy talking about it earlier. I'm kind of missed out on the conversation. I joined a little late, but with the conference championships, if you're going to punish a team for playing one extra game that Oklahoma didn't get, that Ole Miss didn't get, that these teams are that are going to be in the playoffs, but they're in the SEC championship. Let's say Georgia loses tonight. Let's say that happens. How much do they drop? They might get a first round playoff, at home. Great.
Probably to 15.
Yeah, exactly. That's it just why even have the SEC? Why even have conference championships?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. When I saw the coked out Michael Irvin on the sidelines. Did you see the one time they had the game where he was pounding the drum and I think they were losing the game and Michael Irvin is literally pounding the drum on the sidelines? I'm like, dude, your team's losing. I don't think your team scored right there.
Oh, sorry, that got me good. Hey, Amari, I'm gonna let you go and bring on Anthony Spano.
All right, see y'all.
Hey, Amari, thank you for finally joining me.
No problem.
And thank you for all the support throughout the year. Amari's been a huge supporter of our site, and I've begged him to come on a bunch of times. The guy always has fantastic comments in the comment section. I feel like I put him on the screen more than anybody else. I wanted him to come on the show. I know talent when I see it, and Amari is a fantastic commentator, and we need to have him on more. The guy's been a huge, huge supporter, and he's funny as hell. So very quick-witted. But we're going to bring on the opposite of quick-witted. We're going to bring on the quick-tongued Anthony Spano. Are you in bed?
Yeah. I was playing laser tag. I'm tired.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We had our Christmas party tonight, and I did some laser tag. I was doing some barrel rolls and shit, and I'm really tired now.
Who are you playing with?
It was my company.
Okay,
Not my.
most importantly,
I don't own a company, but
did you win?
yeah, of course we did. I was using meat shields too. I was bringing grabbing kids that were there, and I was throwing them in front of me, and so I did everything I had to do.
Oh man, you talking about human shields? I know all about that shit. I'm Palestinian, baby. We got this time.
Hey, I'm watching the movie The Stand right now. You guys big Stephen King fans?
No.
What?
I read 17 pages of it. and I was scared for like 10 years. So I don't know.
And I've still got the stand on the bridge. It's 1,348 pages, and that's what Kirby Smart did tonight. He made the final stand.
I knew you were going somewhere with it, so you pull it all the way back to Georgia football.
It's a good segue, wasn't it?
That was a good segue. That was professional quality segue.
That's right. That's why I should have a lanyard with you for UGA Sports, but you won't do that. I tell you what. I mean, if you can't give if you take Zachariah Branch out as a MVP and Gunnar Stockton out, who do you give it to? I'm going to give it to London Humphreys, Cole Spear, in the entire Georgia defense. That's what we did last time, right? We talked about like the MVPs. Dude, the block that he threw for Nate Frazier, massive. The routes he ran, even though Tolliver got that hands to the face when we picked the third down up, that was huge. But I think London Humphreys, it deserves an MVP outside of obviously, Gunnar and
No, you're right. He did kill a man on that. It was a kick out block.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. And again, he's giving up about 40 pounds to the guy he hit. And just completely crushed him. So,
right.
I'm with you there. That was a big one for him. I'm trying to think of who else did you say might get one? Cole Spear? Yeah.
Cole Spear, the block. How do you not give something to somebody on special teams?
Yeah, you do. Weird thing, I've been talking all night about Brett Thornton, 7 punts, 5 of them inside the 20.
Yeah.
Georgia, I think Georgia's longest scoring drive was like 50-something yards. That's pretty damn good. But Alabama for their scoring drive, they had to drive 92. So
we spotted them 1,000 on that drive.
You did.
Yeah.
Roddy, I'm going to say one more thing, and I'm going to get off here and let somebody else join because I know that you got other people. I just wanted to I appreciate all that you do, all that UGA Sports does, all the coverage. It's great. It's wonderful. Makes me look forward to my week. But let's enjoy tonight as dog fans. Let's enjoy it, soak it in, and it's time to go win a natty now. I mean, when you got the SEC championship behind you, love it tonight. Let's start back tomorrow, get back to it. I know you usually do it at the end of the show, but I'm going to give helmet stickers out for Tolliver, CJ Allen, and Brett Thorson. Those are my 3. I'm going to throw 3 out there.
Okay.
Those are my 3 helmet stickers for the night. But I think Tolliver did one hell of a job sticking in and didn't even miss a beat. Did he have a hiccup here and there? Sure. But Bobo's obviously done a very good job, guiding him. So very, very happy with that. Very happy for our future. And let's go win a natty. And hopefully next time I see you guys, we are playoff winners. So
amen, my friend.
Yeah.
Hi, Heath. I appreciate it. Thanks,
I appreciate all you guys. Go Dogs.
We'll see you, my man. All right. Anthony, we got a lot of feedback from you for some reason. I'm not sure what's going on there. Let's try to add South Georgia Dog.
Is it still there?
It is. Okay, it stopped. Nope. Okay. It's like there's like an echo. Let me see if I can figure out what's going on with you. Let me try echo.
I made sure to mute everything else that was going on around me. Plus, my wife was in the bathroom. She's probably taking a dump or something. She had the fan on. So, she's gone now.
South Georgia Dog, are you there? All I got is a black screen for you, man. I'm trying to decide if you're still there or not.
Hey, seriously, Roddy, Ben, you guys, I'm actually going to take some NyQuil because I'm not feeling the best. Like, wasn't feeling the greatest tonight. It's really cold outside. It's like 28 degrees, but it feels like -3.
Where are you at? Oh.
So
nice burn. Nice burn.
But I do feel like shit, and I'm gonna go to bed. But this is the first time I've been to bed with 2 really good looking men in a while. I mean, since college. So this is This is a treat for me, guys. It's probably better for me than you guys. So, but I just want to let you guys know. Everybody hit the thumbs up. UJ Sports best, Roddy, and all you guys are the best. Just keep doing what you're doing, and we're on to the next one, baby. We get to buy the extra buy and figure out who we get to beat the shit out of next time.
Anthony, you always make me laugh, my friend.
Get some rest, you guys. You guys are the best.
All right, see you, my man.
See you guys.
Corey summed that up so well.
To college with Anthony Spano.
I think that would have been an experience. I would have probably forgot the whole experience, though.
Dude, and here's the thing: you don't know when it's coming. You know, it's like, yeah, it feels like 28 degrees. It's like 28 degrees outside, but it feels like -3. I'm like, God, he just does it so smooth.
Yeah, I thought he was legit, like in some place that was cold as hell. Like up here,
exactly. He could be in Hawaii for all I know. He could be in, fucking Ecuador.
Oh no, only one person can be in Hawaii, Roddy, and he's got to have a machete, and he's got to be.
Hey, Hawaii dog, are you out there walking around your cul-de-sac with your machete? We need you on there. So
he just whipped that thing out at like 1:30 in the morning. It still scares me. My God.
Here's a comment for you. Alabama gets the extra bye too. Bye. Jimp 7882. That was cold blooded. That's funny.
Indiana's starting to drive down the field potentially to take the lead.
Dude, with I'm just telling you, if Duke wins and Indiana wins, the problem with if Indiana wins, then Ohio State's only going to drop to 3. And that means we're going to have to face them before the national championship. And I don't want to. I want to play in the national championship.
They can make an argument to put Texas Tech at the 3 spot because they won a conference championship game. They could hypothetically do that. But
they won't. I agree. Here's the thing. Let me bring on South Georgia Dog as I bring up this comment here. What we think is going to happen in the rankings and in the ratings and the placements, whatever anybody tells you, and I see all these different guys usually on Facebook Reels or TikTok or something, and they're giving you their hot take. These guys. But none of them know a damn thing. The reason I say that, how many years have we had a 12-team playoff?
Oh, this is the second. Well,
this is year 2. So how many data points do we have?
1.
Yeah. Right. How many people changed on that committee? 3 or 4? Point being, we don't know enough about how the process works to say what they're going to do. So Hey, South Georgia Dog, you went black for a while there, and I had to drop you out. Where you been?
I've been right here. I don't know what's going on. It was on. I'm sure it was on my end.
Now, when you're in South Georgia, where are you at?
Americus, Sumter County.
That's a good spot. I love that spot down there.
Tyler Clark.
Roddy, I was going to ask, what are your odds on Colby Young playing in the playoffs right now?
60-40.
Because I mean, if he's healthy, that changes everything. Now, obviously, you'd like to have Bobo, but I think Tolliver.
No.
Yes, I don't think Overton played, but Tolliver gave you a fight tonight. Like he had a couple plays where he missed a block, but I thought it was improvement over the Georgia Tech performance. He did not look good. Like it was noticeable.
No.
But tonight it was with a full week, knowing he's the guy. He stepped up tonight in some crucial moments. So obviously you'd like to have Drew Bobo, but if you have Colby Young, Gunner's got his full repertoire of receivers to beat you with. So
no, that would absolutely be huge. And again, this is no shot against Noah Thomas, but Colby Young, the way he runs after he catches the ball, he looks like a man possessed. So
right,
that inspires everyone around him. Noah Thomas is a finesse guy. And I know that Noah Thomas is not thrilled with Mike Bobo because he just doesn't get enough passes. Every wide receiver who doesn't get the ball enough is not going to be thrilled with his OC. Like, throw me the ball more, throw me the ball more. Colby Young is just happy that Georgia stuck with him through his legal issues. and that dude fights for Georgia. I know he's a transfer, but he is. I mean, hell, Georgia could have thrown him to the curb, but like, man, you got some issues. We're done with you. So his loyalty to UGA is through the roof, and he will play lights out. But he also needs to look good. If he can get back in time, that could do wonders for him leaving this year. Because if he can't get a medical extension, then he needs to put something on tape showing guys he's healthy and he's back. So I'm with you. If he could get back at all, he would be a terror. He would, even unhealthy. I mean, because a lot of these guys come back and they're 60, 70, 80%. But I guarantee you, you throw him a ball, he is going to move heaven and earth to catch it and then do something with it. So that would South Georgia dog was on here earlier. We were talking about the fact that Georgia was not taking hardly any shots downfield. They had the throw to Zachariah Branch on the sail route where he stopped, or the flag route. It's like, dude, you got to keep running. And they really didn't go after it. So if by the end of the month you could have Colby Young back, they're not going to get Drew. Drew Bobo is going to have surgery. He should have had it already, but he was waiting on. He wanted to be there for this game, so he's done. So if Malachi Tolliver is, and here's the thing, Malachi Tolliver is going to get a month of practices as the first string center. Cortez Smith is also going to get a ton of practice as the second string. I said that Cortez Smith was, the guys at the stadium noted that Cortez Smith was getting snaps with Gunnar Stockton, i.e., Malachi Tolliver was on a short leash, as I wrote in my column. If he'd had a few high snaps or missed a few blocks, they were going to bring in Cortez Smith. And I hate to see Georgia without Drew Bobo because he's the heart and soul of that offensive line. But the way these guys have matured, if Malachi and Cortez can get it done, they're going to be hard to stop. So, especially at least whoever they play in the I'm hoping they're in the Sugar Bowl. I think that's where they should be, right?
Roddy, yeah. But I think the coach of the year at Georgia staff is not Kirby Smart or Mike Bobo. I think it might be Stacey Searles.
I know everybody hates him, but
Roddy, I think people have wanted to fire him since what was it, the day after he was hired? People wanted to fire him.
Yeah.
Or I think actually, I remember when they signed Malachi Tolliver. Right? Do you remember the Vents reaction to that? Or no, not the Vent, the Vault. The Vault's reaction to when they signed Malachi Tolliver. They're like, my God, these evaluations by Stacey Searles are terrible. We got to fire this guy again. My God. Every year they've wanted him fired, and he's been the best coach on staff this year because he's played two freshmen. Look at when Tolliver's thrown in there, and people are talking about Cortez Smith. Roddy, you've talked, people in the building are high on him and think he inevitably can be the center. He's a freshman. So it's like he's developing these offensive linemen. If you told me Agboka, who I think is actually the best player Georgia signed in this recruiting class, if they would have gotten Cantwell, next year's offensive line, imagine what he would have done with 2 5-star tackles. So I think Searles is, really underappreciated. I think he's been the best coach on staff this year, truly.
No, Searles has had a fantastic year. Let's call it what it was. Remember, he had 6 different offensive lines in 6 games due to injuries. And as Broken Earth says, it was a rough O-line last year. You had 4 guys off that line get drafted, and the offensive line was not good. So objectively, you're like, if you've got NFL quality guys, and what team in America has 4 guys drafted? That doesn't happen. And you're off. If you tell me I have 4 NFL quality offensive linemen, you should win a national championship. No question. Problem was, they were all injured at different points. You couldn't get them all on the field at the same time for game after game after game. They were all beat up. They were all out. So, remember, Jared Wilson missed time. Tate Ratledge missed time. All these guys missed time. So then this year, you start out the first 6 games. By halftime of the first game, you had lost the entire right side of your offensive line. Just mind-boggling how much they came through. But that offensive line is once they got healthy and once they got a little matured, they were the strength of your offense. And they were fantastic today. How many times did Gunner get sacked today?
0.
There you go. I don't know how many times he was pressured, but there damn sure weren't a whole lot of them. So
I mean, last year, Roddy, I think Dylan Fairchild, didn't he have turf toe? Because that's like impossible to play through.
Yep.
And then
Georgia
you had I think Tate had tightrope surgery.
Yep. Georgia had 141 yards rushing to Alabama's -3. They had 16 first downs to Alabama's 12. Georgia went 6 of 16 on third down. Alabama went 3 of 13. So, and Georgia went 2 of 2 on fourth down, which is big. So, a point being, the Georgia offensive line and Georgia defensive lines, that's where you make your money. That's where you win ball games. And right now, from where they were, offensive line and defensive line, Trey Scott, Stacey Searles, you got to say those two are your coaching MVPs right now. So I know a lot of people like Donut Dog on the board. A lot of people like to shit on Stacey Searles, but you got to give him credit. We mentioned halfway through the show, you got to give that man his flowers. And remember how many people crapped on Mike Bobo?
Everyone wanted him fired last year too.
People
were saying he was going to retire, or Kirby was going to make him retire.
Yeah. Oh, who is it? I don't know what came out. I remember somebody in the spring came out and said that Mike Bobo was going to retire, and I had to put out Mike Bobo is not going to retire because I was in New Orleans last year and I'd heard all the rumors about Mike Bobo retiring. And when the one media day that we get, where you get to talk to every coach and every player, I went up to Mike holding my recorder. And every time Mike looks at me, he's like, "Hey, Roddy, we have a long history. I'll say we respect each other, but we're not buddies. We're not friends." And it's almost like, "What the F do you want?" He didn't say that, but that was the kind of look I got. Like, Mike, I need to ask you a question. You know, there's all these rumors that you're going to retire, you know, that you have medical issues. He's like, "Where the hell's that coming from?" I'm like, "It's just everywhere." And he's like, "No." I'm like, "Mike, can I get you to say that on the record?" He's like, "Well, no, I'm not. That's stupid." I'm like, "I just need it." So I turned the recorder on. I'm like, "Mike, are you thinking about retiring?" And he goes, "No, I am not thinking about retiring. I do not plan to retire at all." And I put it out there. 3 months later, it hits Atlanta radio, and everyone's going crazy about it. And I spoke to someone who spoke to Mike, and Mike's like, "Hell, I'm not going anywhere." And we know he had medical issues, but Mike is actually one of the 10 finalists for the Broyles Award. Tonight, he dialed up some shit. I know everybody wants him to go downfield, but his formations, his plays, his show him one thing, do something else, show him one thing, and then work two different options off of that same thing the second time you run it. He was in his bag tonight. He scored 28 points on a good Alabama defense, despite the fact that his guys had 80 yards worth of penalties. So
he only had one awful play call, in my opinion. It was the second down after they got the 4th and 1 at midfield for the end of the half when they ran it to Cash Jones. I said, I don't understand what they were doing there. It was it was like 2nd and 8. They run at Cash Jones for a yard, and I go, what was the point?
You're gonna have those, and I mean, they said the same thing about Lane Kiffin's made some boneheaded plays. Grubb made some stupid plays. What was Grubb? South Georgia Dog, what the hell was Grubb trying to do running it? I think they ran it on 6 out of the first 8 plays from the line of scrimmage without their top 2 backs.
Yeah. The only thing Bobo did tonight that I kind of didn't understand was he did that. I think we ran it twice, but it was like a little short end around thing with Dylan Bell. The first time it was fine, but then when it didn't work, we went back to it again later. I didn't know if he was trying to set something up.
They missed a block.
Yeah.
There's a missed block there.
Okay.
So the one looked like a double reverse. The one the belt looked like he ran one way, then he cut back and took the handoff, and I was like, something looked weird about that.
Yeah.
Did he go in orbit motion and come back?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And something just looked off about it.
Then, I mean, that when you're doing that, if the guy goes in motion, you see who goes with him. And if it's not man and he goes back the other way, you give it to him because there's not going to be anybody on it. They're in zone and you just fucking hammer it. So that's my guess. I don't know. I don't want to be one of those guys that pretends he knows what the hell's going on. But Mike knows more than I'll ever. And again, I say this all the time. Hell, I mean, Kirk Herbstreit today on College Game Day did like a 4-minute section on why Mike Bobo doesn't get enough credit. So I know he can drive people crazy and people can complain about screens, but screens are high production plays who I won't say who are called by Kirby Smart, but Kirby Smart loves them because Kirby Smart believes in high percentage plays offensively and defensively. He does not like taking chances. He doesn't like a lot of trick plays. He likes being on schedule. And when Georgia against Georgia Tech, when they threw on first down and missed on so many of those passes, and they were looking at 2nd and 10, guess what? That's off schedule. What does Tech do when they know you're at 2nd and 10? They know you want to get back on schedule. So what are you going to do? You're going to run the ball. So what do? They load the box. They send 7. They send 8. They stop you. Now you're looking at 3rd and 8. So Kirby much rather run the ball on first down, pick up 4, and be looking at 2nd and 6 because now you're on schedule. So, and guess who comes up with that game plan? Kirby Smart, Mike Bobo, the entire offensive and defensive coaches. So Mike can only do what Kirby Smart tells him. And I can tell you this, when Todd Monken was here, he and Kirby Smart fought like cats and dogs,
Right.
And he and Mike Bobo fight. Mike, if he had his way, remember we had to fucking get hats to say, Mike, you remember the whole thing, the whole meme, Bobo, run the damn ball.
Yeah.
All he wanted to do is throw it. He's a quarterback. They want to throw it all over the yard. So when people think, oh, well, he's just conservative, he just runs screens. If he had his way, it would be air raid. But he works for Kirby Smart. Kirby Smart's a defensive-minded coach. He's very conservative and likes the high percentage plays. So that's where we are.
Hey, there was something I was wanting to ask you guys. I noticed tonight when they showed Bobo up in the box, Todd Hartley was sitting next to him. Is that normal? Does Hartley always sit in the box?
Always.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he always does.
Okay.
Now remember when we harp on the play calls, a lot of the times the offensive game plan and the philosophy are designed by Kirby Smart, Todd Hartley, James Coley, who was also Kirby Smart's offensive coordinator for a year.
19.
Running back Josh Crawford, the offensive the running backs coach. So you've got your Stacey Searles helps out. It is a group effort, and it's not just. I mean, the play call sheet that's standing in front of them is Mike Bobo, but they've all worked on the game plan. So let's give credit to all the offensive minds over there for again, you dropped 28 points on a pretty damn good defense, despite the fact that you had some stupid penalties over and over and over again. I'm with you, Georgia. Georgia definitely could have scored 42. So they left at least 14 points on the field. So, and here's the thing: people don't want to. Broken says, "Please don't invoke Coley." Remember, Coley had no wide receivers.
Yes.
Imagine Mike Bobo. Imagine everybody went crazy to get Lane Kiffin. If Lane Kiffin did not have a run game and he had to rely strictly on the pass, or vice versa, how good would Lane Kiffin be?
Not worth a damn.
No.
If any offensive coordinator is completely one-dimensional because he's lost all his running backs or all his wide receivers, he's in for a shit year. So. Yeah, and I'm with you, Broken English. This is fair enough. I don't want to live through that again. Yeah, that was a rough year, Habibi. It really was. And I've had the good fortune. I sat at the banquet.
Are you talking about 2019?
Yeah,
the one year that James Coley was the guy.
19.
Yeah. James Coley was 2019. Are you talking about when they played Kentucky? It was awful. And I think that game, it might have been raining a little bit, but that game, I think Georgia scored it was like 10-0 was the score.
Was that the one that was 6-9 or something?
That was Missouri.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think.
I don't know if that year. I know they played Georgia, Kentucky, 2019.
But anyway, the point being, I've been able to sit next to James Coley at a big fundraiser event, and if you hear that man talk about offensive play calls, the depth and breadth of his knowledge is extraordinary. So, but I tell you, Todd Hartley is going to be a phenomenal head coach somewhere.
Oh yeah,
he is. He's the next Kirby Smart. That son of a bitch.
He didn't get it.
He signed 3 of the top 20 tight ends in this recruiting class. How do you think about it? There are 132 teams. He took 3 of the top 20 tight ends in America and signed them in the same recruiting class. That's just greedy, Todd. That's just greedy.
Yeah.
And again, he calls good plays. And don't forget, they also have James Lilly over there. James Lilly's called plays.
I forgot he was back. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm just saying, you got a lot of good minds on the offensive side over there, just like you do the defensive side.
Guys, it ain't looking so great for Ohio State at the moment.
See, I'm on the Duke Virginia game. Duke's up 17-10.
That means the ACC's out. If Duke wins, the ACC's out.
Exactly.
I mean, I guess they could. I mean, yeah, Miami has a decent shot of getting put in, but nobody in that conference. You can't put Duke in a playoff. You can't do that.
No, not with 5 losses. Screw that.
So that means that they would have Roddy. That means they would be forced because they had to put 5 conference champions. Tulane and JMU would both go to the playoff, and both would have a head coach that's going to another team next year.
I will say this:
UCLA and Florida's coach are coaching 2 G5 teams in the playoff. That's what's happening. These are the people.
I would be happy to see JMU and Tulane in the playoffs, mainly because I have a soft spot for both teams. One of the guys I worked with for years, he came to Athens. I worked with him for years. He was a James Madison graduate. And he kept telling me how great James Madison was. And I'm like, dude, I don't even know where they're located. He's working in Athens. He's going to Georgia games. And the dude stuck up for his alma mater like they were world beaters. And I just know that if James Madison gets in, this guy and me and him had some head-to-heads. We were both in sales at the time. I'll be so happy for him because I know he'll be on cloud 9. And Tulane, I'm a big New Orleans fan. You go over to Tulane University. It's a beautiful campus. I love that school. I love the fact that they're right there in the heart of it, and they get overlooked all the time. And if they make it to the playoffs, and my wife actually almost took a job at Tulane. Dude, I was pushing it. I'm like, take the job. Take the job. I want to live in New Orleans. I still had to do my job. But the point being, if they both get in, I have a soft spot for both those schools. And High Point University for some reason and Campbell University because those are my smaller schools I'm a big fan of. And Campbell because, of course, because they're the Fighting Camels. So point being, if those guys get in, I'd be very excited to see those two. And ACC locked out, I'm fine with that. You know, they're
Danny Cannell might throw a hissy fit. You know what's funny,
dude? Watching the Danny Cannell meltdown would be so worth it.
You know what's funny, Roddy? Early in the year, and I'm being dead serious. It was like week 5. He was the first one to say this. He goes, "Should we really?" And he was the guy for all these years. I want like 12-team playoff. I want like the small schools to have a chance. Week 5, he goes, "The group of 5. Do we really need any of them in there?" I go, "Why is he saying
piece
this?"
of shit.
And then as the season goes along, I think he knew the whole time, like the ACC's not it. Because I'm telling you this right now, if this is the Big Ten that was this bad, and there was 2 group of 5s going in, you know that guy would not say anything. Or the SEC, you know that guy would not say anything. But when the ACC, you're sitting there, it's like, oh, why do we need to have these group of fives in? Because he knows at least Miami, they would put them in. If the group of five, they didn't put any of them in, Miami would have to go in. So, I mean, I'm going to be very excited to see if the ACC doesn't get put in, to see his reaction to having 2 group of fives surpassing that conference that people used to hype up for years, which was just Dabo would just beat up on a bunch of crap teams, it felt like, since Florida State was dead.
Shout out to Gary Holt from up in LJ, one of my favorite areas of the state. Fantastic. Almost as good as South Georgia, almost as good as America's, you know.
Also, Roddy, how didn't you guess JMU is from like near like DC or that area? I would just guess just based off the name, like dude's a political figure. It's got to be DC. I mean, like DC, Virginia. It is in Virginia, though.
It is in Virginia, but again, I didn't know at the time. But I mean, there's a lot of small schools that I like because, you know, like hell, I applied to when I was going to college. I applied to the University of California, Santa Cruz. Go Banana Slugs, and actually I got accepted. My uncle Hassan, he lives in San Jose, California, and so I applied to UC Santa Cruz, and which is not too far from there. I could have gone and stayed with him, and then gone to Santa Cruz, and but then I got the tuition bill. Good God, out of state, trying to go to any place at the University of California system. Woo.
Did you have, Roddy, the like if you had a major that wasn't in your state, you could get in-state tuition? Like if you applied to an out-of-state school in your state? Because I remember when I was applying for college, because I was applying for a bunch of them. I applied for West Virginia. I remember many years ago, and I didn't want to pay. I didn't want to pay out-of-state tuition. I knew I wasn't going there anyway. But if I took puppetry, that was legitimately a major, I would have gotten in-state tuition, and because of my grades, I would have gotten scholarship money. But I'm like, I'm not just going to do that and then switch my major late. They would have been like, oh, F this guy. He's finessing the system. I knew they would have screwed me in the end. So I'm like, there's zero shot I'm doing it. But I'm like, puppetry, what the hell is it? These are some of the majors they have in some of these schools. And kids used to take advantage of it.
Oh, hell yeah, I would have. Yeah, I've got no scruples when it comes to higher education. My dad gave me $20 for college. It was $20 for gas, so I was kind of screwed there. So don't get me wrong, Dad, love you. Dad, he just didn't have the money. So my point is, I applied to the University of Georgia, University of California, Santa Cruz, because I had an uncle out there. I applied to Savannah College of Art Design because I was a really good photographer, and I thought about getting maybe an art degree. And they also taught some journalism, and I got into every one of them. But then when I got the tuition bill for the Savannah College of Art Design and UC Santa Cruz, I'm like, good God. Georgia was the cheapest option by far. I swear I wanted to go, but, you know, you apply to multiple schools so that just in case. And, you know, so I'm no longer a fan of SCAD just because I know how much they charge to get into school there. Yeah. See, Corey Carter understand SCAD is expensive as hell. It was like $60,000 a year back in 1990. I mean, it was
good. No, that's egregious. That's egregious for today.
What the shit? I'd go to Harvard first, you know? I mean, it was nuts.
That's egregious for today.
$34,000 a quarter. Remember, this is a quarter, this isn't 2 semesters because we were on the quarter system back then.
Right.
So multiply that over, 4 quarters a year. You understand what kind of bullshit there. So,
and that's probably going up. There's no way it hasn't.
Oh, yeah. All right. We need to give some South Georgia Dog Ben. We got to give some helmet stickers. We're going to wrap up the show here. But before we do that, I need to mention our friends over at the Rogue Shop. Now, the Rogue Shop, they make the gummies. Okay. They make some fantastic gummies. They also make the Skittles. They also make some M&Ms. So if you want some Delta 9 or Delta H, you can get those in the microdose forms. They also have their advent calendars. Now, I know it's December 6th, so you might be a little bit behind, but go ahead and order an advent calendar, and it's 1 gummy a day. It's a fantastic way if you have chronic pain or I don't want to call it sleep deprivation, but if you're an insomniac and you have trouble sleeping like I do, it was really mainly because of this Georgia defense. That was keeping me up at night. I couldn't sleep because of the Georgia defense. I'll sleep a lot better tonight, but if you have chronic knees, sciatic nerve, anybody who has a chronic pain issue, reach out to our friends at the Rogue Shop, and their Delta 8 or Delta 9 gummies will definitely help you with that. You go to the website and it'll say, sleep aids or chronic pain. Click on that one. They'll show you all the different options that they have. Oh, they even have hot chocolate that's infused. The guy, Richard, who came up with it, and his wife, Charmaine, it's basically two people who run this entire shop. They are consistently voted the number one store in their area. We put up the link the other day for everybody to go vote for them to be number one. And I think they won it for like the 5th time in a row. Their customer service is off the charts because you can talk to them directly. If you go to therogueshop.com, the little thing will pop up. Do you have any questions? It's Charmaine, the co-owner, the co-founder. Talk to her directly, and she can help you with any questions you may have. So check out the Rogue Shop. Now is the time to do it. Hell, they even have chocolate bars. What the hell? I didn't know that. I'm going to get one of them chocolate bars. I'm going to have to talk to those cats. I'm like, what the heck's going on here? Yeah, there's this chocolate bar stuff going on. So anyway, check out the Rogue Shop. You'll be very glad you did. So if you have anybody in your life that has chronic pain issues or chronic issues trying to go to not being able to sleep, they can fix it for them. So, all right, South Georgia Dog, you're our guest. So you get to give the first helmet sticker.
Okay, it can be offense or defense.
Wherever you want to go.
Okay.
If you like, go ahead and give one of each because I know Ben's going to do that bullshit.
Hey, you give out 6. You'll give out freaking 6, Roddy. You go, well, we're expanding the budget.
Okay.
Roddy
Offense, Malachi Tolliver. Defense, Quintavious Johnson.
I'll go Zachariah
Branch.
Branch.
Well deserved.
I'll go Zachariah Branch led the team in receiving tonight and was basically the entire receiving corps outside of like a play here or there by Dylan Bell. And then on defense, Corey Thomas set the tone for me. I mean, he led the team in tackles. He had a big sack. And I felt like, I mean, there's usually once or twice a game you feel like he like messes up big in coverage. They did not allow a single pass, I felt like, more than like 10, 15 yards downfield. And he was in the back end the whole game. I got to give it to Corey Thomas. He played the game of his life. So I've got to give it to him.
Okay. I will go with Dylan Bell. He was second on the team in receptions, 4 receptions for 45 yards, 1 touchdown. And then running the ball, he had 4 touches for 24 yards. So let's see, 24, 45, that is 69. Nice. 69 yards on 8 touches. He that second drive was damn near all Dylan Bell. So shout out to him for that one. And I can't believe you guys missed Gunnar Stockton. 20 of 26. That is a 77% completion rate. 156 yards, which is not anything to, remember he didn't attack downfield, but 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. If you told me he was going to complete 77% of his passes, not have any interceptions, I'd have been like, well, hell, this is going to be a heck of a game. So both of mine were on offense, Gunnar Stockton and Dylan Bell, but I'm sure you guys probably have a couple more on defense you might want to look at. South Georgia Dog, anybody else?
Defense, just nothing in particular stands out. He's always so solid. CJ Allen.
Yeah, me there.
Because I'd go Gabe Harris because, I mean, he had that hit early in the game on Ty Simpson. And then, hey, you can call it a cheap shot all you want. On the one replay, it looked like he pulled up and Ty Simpson sold it. Like he got hit after the whistle. But that dude set the tone physicality-wise. And he played well against the run. So I got to go Gabe Harris. He had some standout plays.
I want to go with Chris Cole. I just looked it up. He had 5 tackles, which ties for second. There were 3 guys that had 5 tackles. CJ Allen, Raylan Wilson, Chris Cole. Chris Cole also had a half sack and which is pretty big for him, and a half tackle for loss. So Chris Cole, especially being out there, being a spy on a lot of his plays and just being, I don't want to call him, I hate the term Swiss Army knife, but just he's being spackle. You can put him anywhere on the defensive front. Whatever hole you need covered up, he's got it covered up. And Chris Cole is really coming into his own. So that's another guy I'll give it to. And I got to give one to Brett Thorson. We've talked about him for 3 hours. Dude, 7 punts, 5 of them pinning Alabama inside the 20. That's just think about if a punter was doing that to Georgia, you would hire someone to go Nancy Kerrigan his ass. You'd just be like, look, dude, we cannot face that guy again. Every time he punts the ball, we're starting inside our own 20. This is some BS. So it's easy to overlook a punter, but Brett Thorson lights freaking out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this legacy sticker for Thorson. Yeah.
You know it's a cheap one. It's not a player, but I got to go third down defense. To me, was the difference.
Yeah.
You had, what was it? I think at one point it's like 3 for 14. Alabama was on offense. Last game when Georgia played them, I think they allowed like 9 straight third downs. I think it was like something like it was like they were like 13 for 19 or something in the first game.
13 for 19, 8 of 8
and they
to
totally
start.
flipped it. They totally flipped it this game. It was really about the third down defense, because one thing I noticed, Roddy, I guess it'll be my last point, is like the defensive line got a lot of push on the O-line. Even if they weren't beating them with speed or just winning one-on-ones, they were just bowling them back into the quarterback. And Ty Simpson ran around, and when he was pressured, he just looked awful. He looked atrocious under pressure, Ty Simpson.
He did. And shout out to Trent Smallwood, who, when he wrote the keys to the game, he talked about that. He said, look, you can pressure Gunnar Stockton, and he'll make you pay. You pressure Ty Simpson, he falls apart. So always be sure to read the keys to the game every Thursday when our man Trent Smallwood puts it out, because the keys there are pretty good. I like Omari saying that -3 helmet stickers. That's goddamn. That's cold blooded. Ackerwood, AKRK Wood, -3. I like it. What temperature does Alabama's offense freeze at? -3. You people. I'm telling you, we're going to get that billboard put up in Tuscaloosa that just has a giant -3 on it there. So y'all are cold. Oh, dude, how did we miss this one? KB Johnson. Cole Spear for helmet stickers. While we're talking special teams,
Roddy gets 6 helmet stickers in. Look at that.
Dude, this is KB John's 64. I didn't put this one out there. KB came up with this one. So we were talking special teams. We gave one to Brett Thorson. You got to give one to Cole Spear. The absolute, again, it's just like the Arkansas game. When you come in and you take a punt away and you're able to punch it in, now you're up 7. It automatically puts the other team on their back foot, and he's right. So that was a big one there. So Poke Painter says special teams get my sticker in every phase: punting, blocks, punt return. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. I think you're right. 100% there. But Cole Spear definitely gets one. And just because Ben's going to bitch about it, I'm going to give another one. Rod Robinson. Rod Robinson, who didn't play until the Charlotte game, gets in there, lines up at fullback. Everyone thinks he's going to be the fullback blocking for Josh McCray. 0-2. Goes up to the line like he's going to do you got to sell the block, right? So you got to freeze that inside linebacker, because if he goes out to the flat, they're going to go with him. So he runs straight to the line and slips.
Oh my God.
The dude slipped, bounces up, goes out, catches that pass. Now Georgia's up, with the lead. Shout out to Rod Robinson, wherever he's going to play next year. Wish him all the best, but got to give him a helmet. Dude, the dude hardly ever played. And he scored.
You know what? I'm giving a helmet sticker to Dominic Lovett. He was at the game today. They showed all the DGDs. They had like Tate Ratledge, they had all these All-Americans, and then they had Dom Lovett. Dom Lovett's getting a freaking helmet sticker at this point. Give one to Matt Landers while you're at it in Scroggs.
Dude, I'm gonna give one to the Rump Squatch.
Give one to Brian Harriet. I'm just naming random.
Dude, hey, don't. I will not accept any Brian Harry and bad talk.
Oh my God,
Brian Harry's one of my favorites
that they got from Tennessee. Eli Wolf.
Eli Wolf, hell yeah, baby. Let's give one to Wolf too.
Michael Chigboo gets a helmet sticker.
Hey, let's not get too crazy here. Come on, South Georgia dog. We have standards. Y'all are killing me here.
I remember because Roddy, they did post a picture. It's like Jalen Walker, Tate Rather. It's like all these guys that were all Americans, and it's just like Dom Lovett in the middle. And I'm like, yeah, I don't understand this. I'm sorry. Like Dom Lovett, he had some good games at Georgia, but I'm looking at that. I'm like, I don't understand that.
Ooh, boy, Jalen saying looking like shit over here.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I'm loving this. Anyway, I'm with you there. Dom, dude, he's playing in the NFL.
He's on, was he on Detroit?
Yeah, he's with Detroit. I'm loving this. What are they really in the fourth quarter?
Yes.
4 minutes left.
I didn't know the game was this close.
Some offensive juggernaut.
Not good under pressure either, Roddy. If Georgia can get any pressure against Ohio State, they have a shot at winning.
Mm-hmm.
They
have a shot at winning because I think Georgia can take care of the football and score in the low 20s on Ohio State, and that can be enough. And Georgia's 100% capable of doing it.
They just ran a trick play and it didn't work. Flags everywhere. All right, folks. Yeah, see, Amari saw it too. Amari, trick play did not work. Dude, when you have to resort to trick plays, you were losing. And we saw Alabama. What was the deal with Alabama with the throwback, the double throw?
That was so stupid. Yeah.
Nobody can dismiss your play as stupid like a guy from Americus.
I'm shocked they didn't do that Caden Proctor play again.
The freaking South Georgia disdain. It's like showing up at the family Christmas party and like jeans. Like, oh.
They just called a chop block on Indiana on defense. I don't think I've ever seen a chop block call on the defense before, but
that's some BS, man. They're trying to take care of Ohio State. That's some bullshit.
I mean, he literally had zero impact on that play whatsoever. It's like I remember the worst penalty of all time, Roddy, was there was a Florida game a couple years ago when DeAndre Swift had a 30-yard run and Matt Landers blocked the guy in the back at the line of scrimmage when the run was already 30 yards downfield and they called it. I go, you got to be kidding me. It's the most egregious penalty I've ever seen.
The worst one was when they called Drew.
Ray Drew. You're thinking about Ray Drew.
Ray Drew at Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
I'm still mad about that BS.
Just such pointless penalties.
Was this a pin wagers bullshit?
Yeah.
Of course. All right, folks. Let me real quick. Cal Hinton, the last point. 14 of our points were on turnovers in positive territory. Great point, Kyle. I mentioned that Georgia had lost to Alabama in 2023. They lost by 3 points on a turnover in their territory. Alabama scored 3 points off that. The margin of victory was 3 points. 2024, Georgia turned the ball over their territory. Alabama scored 7 points. The margin of victory was 7 points. Earlier this year, Nate Frazier fumbles. Georgia holds them to a field goal. They win by 3 points. Last 3 meetings, Alabama won by the margin of victory that equaled the points off of turnovers. Tonight, Georgia actually gets some turnovers and scores 14 points off of it.
Right.
Ooh, boy. And Duke
Daylen
just got an
Everett
interception. Holy shit.
Every SEC championship game, Roddy, they need to bring in Daylen Everett.
Daylen Everett is the man. I'll stay fourth down.
Also, Julian's saying, I don't know what that was as stupid. He could have ran or just thrown to the running back right there. He had the running back the whole time.
That was Reggie Ball stuff right there.
What? He got the running back.
Good Lord.
I don't know what you're doing there. He could have ran for the first down.
You're absolutely right. Huge.
Him and Ty Simpson, I'm telling you, looking at them, if you pressure them, they just look scared. They just like, oh, don't hit me.
Oh, he missed it. Stinkopotamus.
Did they seriously miss a field goal?
He missed a close field goal.
Ohio State and late field goals, Roddy. I'd never seen that before. I've never seen
Yeah,
that.
be nice. Be nice.
Never seen it.
Look at Ryan Day's like, just fucking kill me. Oh man. Hey, at least it wasn't a guy who had never missed a field goal. I don't know if you guys saw this, but when Georgia beat Ohio State and they missed that field goal right at as the clock hit 0, right before that they had mentioned the guy hadn't missed like a field goal all year.
Yeah, I remember.
If you have a chance, if you're a member of UGA Sports, you're able to go and read other message boards. If you had gone and read the Ohio State message board after that game, you would never see people just dog cussing the announcers for pointing out that he had never missed a field goal prior to that, saying that they absolutely jinxed him. And I'm sure, dude, I've been working at UGA Sports, since like 2007. I've seen our board go sideways. So I can't cast stones, but to watch the Ohio State fans lose their mind blaming an announcer for jinxing their kicker, it's just one of the most hilarious things I've ever seen in my life. So, yeah, Corey Barber says the TCU message board during the national championship was the greatest reading ever. Absolutely. When we come on this show, when we do the post-game overreaction show, I don't do a lot of commercials to say sign up for UGA Sports. I guess we should. Maybe we should have something running at the bottom. But one of the best things about being a member of UGA Sports is you can go read the other message boards. And going and reading the Florida message boards or the Ole Miss message boards or right now, if you go read Bama Online, one of our biggest sites, it's 11:05. I will probably spend from the minute we hang up here, I'm gonna go back and edit all the stories that the UGA Sports put out. I think we've put out maybe 5 or 6 stories or 7 or 8. I'll go through and edit those, and then I will go read the Alabama message board. It's the great when Georgia beats a team, or hell, when Georgia loses, reading the opponent message boards or reading our message board is the greatest thing ever. So check them out. All right, folks. Gary Holt, Georgia's on a 9-game win streak. Shout out to them. And the Dogs are 12-1 with the one loss being avenged. Kirby Smart 4-0 in rematches in season. And I'm pretty sure the Dogs are headed to I think they're headed to New Orleans. That is one of my Yes, pop one of these gummies and go troll on the message boards. Yeah, man. Grab me one of those littles there from our friends at the Rogue Shop. I gotta log into my burner account because I can't have it under my name here, so. And we will see you folks next week. No.
Go
No,
Dogs.
we won't see you guys for a while.
Yeah, for at least
we'll see you around New Year's.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing.
We'll see you next year. Monday, I'll be back on the show here with our man Jed. We'll be talking about the latest Georgia recruiting class, and we will be recapping this win. Sunday, we have the Peach State Power Hour with Harrison Reno and Eddie from Ackworth and our boy Andy Stowe. So check out that show Sunday. Monday, you've got me and Jed. Tuesday, we got Coach Donnan, who will give us his breakdown. Boy, he was in high form tonight. If you missed the watch-along show, you better go back and rewatch it. You do not want to miss it. He sings at the end. He's so excited. So check out the Georgia watch-along show, and we'll have Coach Donnan on Tuesday. And then we'll even have more shows Wednesday. So check out the rest of UGA Sports shows this upcoming week. And for Ben and South Georgia Dog, I'm Radi Nabulsi, and we will see you all later.